Well, well, well. The Dallas Cowboys season has actually been over for a couple of weeks now. And I say especially since the Detroit Lions lost. And it's pretty obvious that the Dallas Cowboys, especially, kind of listening to them last week and now listening to Brian Schottenheimer this week, the Dallas Cowboys have moved on to the 2026 season. We're still going to talk about some of the things the Dallas Cowboys have going on coming up with this New York Giants game. But 2026 is already in full effect for the Dallas Cowboys. And I can tell you right now, two of the biggest stories for the Dallas Cowboys, Brian Flores, Max Crosby. Those are going to be the two biggest stories of 2026. And I'm here for it. Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Yup. It's that time once again to talk about our beloved Dallas Cowboys. Cowboy fans, it's always been about 2026. That doesn't mean that 2025 isn't a disappointment, but it's always been about 2026. Let's go. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And we are live. And if you haven't become a channel member subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? We still got a lot more Cowboys content coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. I'm telling y'all, the Cowboys have moved on, man. I mean, you can just see the resolve that they have moved on. And even as you listen and watch Dak Prescott and some of his interviews, Dak Prescott has moved on. Dak Prescott, even this season, is playing for next season. Dak Prescott, I believe they all knew the plan, 2026. But I don't think they expected to be as bad as they were in 2025. And in the grand scheme of things, when you look at some of the coaches in this league, and especially the Ben Johnsons of the world, man, and even when you think about Kyle Shanahan, man, I'm about to rethink what I was thinking about Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is injured on both sides of the ball. Man, they're basically playing with no-name receivers, next man up on defense, and this man has managed to coach this team into, what is it now, 12-4, I believe? Playing for the number one seed. Been a disappointment. But 2026, this is where we are. 2026 is where we are. And I'm going to go ahead and debunk some of these. I don't want to say debunk, but I want us to really be realistic about a couple of things I'm going to talk to us about tonight. And I'm not going to be the kind of person, I don't want to get us too hyped up on certain things that are going to be talked about in this 2026 season that we've already moved on to. So, this is going to be what we're going to be talking about today. I want to start this thing off with a bang. I want to talk about Brian Flores. Brian Flores. I'm just going to leave it at that. We're going to talk about Brian Flores. Also, the next story we're going to talk about, Max Crosby. These are going to be the two biggest stories of this coming off season. We're also going to talk about, we're going to listen to Stephen Jones. I'm sorry, I got that spelled wrong. I'll correct that spelling in a moment. Stephen Jones. We're going to talk about Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones had a presser on 105.3 The Fan today, so we're going to listen to that. We'll see if we can get to Mickey Spagnola, and then we're going to listen to some player interviews. So this is going to be the content for today. Brian Flores, Max Crosby. Hold on a second. Let's see if we can. Right here on the line. Let's get this right here. Stephen Stephen Jones. We're going to listen to the Stephen Jones press conference. We'll listen to the Brian Schottenheimer press conference. We heard one, we heard them all. Mickey Spagnola on the closing of the season and then the player interviews. That's going to be our show for today. So, let's get this quick roll call in. Keep this hype thing going. Let's get a quick roll call. We're going to get right into it. Mose Logan, what's going on? He said we will probably get Trey before we get Max. Oh, I hope not. Mose Logan, he's got an injury. It would be just like the Cowboys to go and get an injured player. But at the same time, Hendrickson would probably be cheaper for him. As long as they go in the draft and get a top defensive end, and maybe Trey Hendrickson coming. I don't even want to talk myself into it. Big Mouse Dog, what's going on? Andy Jones, he said not getting Flores. We're about to talk about what you're talking about right now. Yeah, Big Mouse Dog, I believe Dak Prescott will play a little bit, but I think they're going to give way to Joe Milton. The Big Rombowski, Dak wants to play. Man, he said that I hope 6'4", 340-pound New York Giants defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence doesn't give him a farewell gift to the end of the 2025 season. Yeah, I don't think he'll. We'll see how this all turns out. JCT Slice, number one Dak Prescott fan, he says, and I'm number two. He said they do, and that'll be much better year with us having more chemistry with the guys that we got different parts of the season. Year two of Shotty and Dak, we're going to be okay. Yeah, they're going to be off the chain, I think, in the year two. Brandy, what's going on? Jeremy, what's going on? Richard Owens, John Jones, what up? He says, G Money, I'm going to tell you as I always do, it's a New Jack City. Yes, sir. Chris Dunaway, what's going on? Lock Indeed, what's going on up in this thing? Ronan, the voice, yes, sir. Kevin, what up with you? Robert Dudley, yes, sir. I hope we move defense faster. Me too. Me too. Ty Howard, Ronnie Dub, Christian Legal, what's going on? Yeah, let me tell you something. We about to hit this story with Brian Flores in the opening. I got a few things to say about that. JTX Made, Richard Villegas, what's going on? Caitlin, 72 Chevelle, what up with you? Good to see you. Kevin Howard, was good. The Big Rombowski. We coming back to this statement you're making right here, Rombowski. Paul Lando, what's going on? Final Hall, what's going on with you? Good to see you. Yeah. Let's go. Let's see who else we got. Then we're going to get started. Raven 3104, what's going on? He said, I want to hear your thoughts on the Eagles versus the Bills game. Oh, let me write that down, because I'm definitely going to give you my thoughts on that game. This is going to be the stuff we're going to be talking about on G Sports Nation going forward. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, let me favorite that comment. I'm coming back to you, Raven. Mr. Seed Starter, what's going on? Hey, Mr. Seed Starter, man. The Eagles would have crushed our dreams. They actually beat the Bills, and I didn't think they would. Grave Digger, what's going on? Uh-oh, Brandy, I'm going to come back to this. Brandy. Mike Fields, what's going on? Dale Jordan, what's up? Gerald Jackson, let's get this thing started. All right. Let's come off the top rope real quick. We jumping from the top rope. I want to come back to a couple of comments that I favorited in the beginning. I want to go back to this comment made by Raven 3104. He said, I would like to hear your thoughts on that Eagles-Bills game. I believe the Eagles don't go far in the playoffs. They'll have a down year next season because their offense is not very good. Raven, let me tell you something. If Josh Allen doesn't get to the Super Bowl this year, then when will he? No Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen had the game in his hands. It's exactly where you want that game yesterday. He's got the game in his hands. What does he do? The receiver. It's the perfectly called play. Man, I feel sorry for Sean, what's his name? Sean McDermott or something to that effect. I feel sorry for this guy because he has to coach the quarterback that the NFL and the media are trying to crown as Mr. NFL, And every time he fails, it's on you. I'm sorry. That play at the end of that game was absolutely pathetic. If Dak Prescott misses that wide open throw, front line news. It is headline news last night, front page news today. All the shows would have been talking about Dak Prescott missing that throw. You're barely hearing a peep about it today about Josh Allen. I did see something where somebody said something that I thought was real funny. They said, is Josh Allen the new Tony Romo? They said, is he the new Tony Romo? I couldn't do nothing but laugh. A lot of people don't understand Josh Allen has kept this team. It's no one else but Josh Allen. Josh Allen has also kept his own team from winning some big games. Turnovers, errant mistakes, all kinds of things. So if that had been Dak Prescott, they would have killed. They'd have killed Dak Prescott. It's insane to me. Terrible throw. That's where I am on it. And I'll tell you this, Raven. Man, them doggone Philadelphia Eagles shocked me. They shocked me beating the Eagles. Philadelphia shocked me. Beating the Bills. I didn't think they were going to beat the Bills. But the way the Bills have been playing, it's no surprise. They have not been playing up to par either. In a year where there's no Burrow, no Jackson, no Mahomes, Josh Allen, man, talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, I think the Philadelphia Eagles would probably get past the first round. Don't see them getting past the second round. I do think that the Seattle Seahawks and you know what? I'm gonna tell you about the Eagles though. I'm gonna tell us this, and I know we don't like the Eagles, but their defense is legit. They got a defense that could literally carry them in the playoffs. Their defense is legit. We'll see how the seeds, as a matter of fact, let's look at the seeds real quick. But I'm telling you right now, the Philadelphia Eagles, their defense is good enough. Their defense is good enough, guys. They've been holding some really good teams below 20 points. Their defense is the real deal. What's hurting them is their offense. They are a team that's being held down. We're being held down by our defense. They're being held down by their offense. So right now, looking at the playoff picture, man, the Eagles are number 3. The Eagles are number 3. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they can move up any higher. So that means the 2 would play the 7, which would be the Bears playing the Packers. And that means the 3 would play the 6. Man, let me tell you something. The Rams in Philly, it's going to be a tough go. I'm telling you now, this is how it stays. It's going to be a tough go. I'm just telling y'all, man, Philly's defense, their offense, and the weak link is Jalen Hurts. But their defense, man, their defense can play with anybody, I believe. I think their defense can hold all these teams. I think they can hold them all to about 20 to 24 points. The question is, can they score 20 to 24 points? And looking at yesterday, this is going to be what's going to get them ran out of the playoffs. They can't score points. They absolutely can't score points. If the Cowboys defense could do what the Eagles is doing, holding teams to 20 points, we'd be undefeated almost. We probably with this season would probably have a 14. We would probably have a 14-win season. If we had that defense. Man, the Eagles defense is nasty. It's a nasty defense. And they're at that number 3 seed, so we're going to see how it turns out. We're going to see how it turns out. It looks like the Panthers are at number 4. Okay, so that means the way this goes, 2 plays the 7, 3 plays the 5. No, 3 plays the 6, 4 plays the 5. Yeah, 4 plays the 5. So, Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm thinking that's how the order goes. So the Eagles' defense is good enough. It's good enough. It is. It's good enough to continue to win. The problem is their offense. I don't think you can score 13 points. I don't think you can score 13 points and win games. I mean, you can win some games, but going down the playoffs, I got a strange feeling it's not going to happen. But I appreciate that. Raven. I wanted to talk because that game was a really good game. Want to talk about that. Appreciate you. All right. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this discussion. Here we go. So I want to talk about Brian Flores. And there's already been some great comments made about Brian Flores. I want to read the super chat from my man JCT Slice first. JCT. Yeah, JCT, G in this church right here speaking that gospel. Dak Prescott got ripped off for a deflection interception off Noah Brown against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They killed Dak Prescott for that. JCT, Noah Brown came out and said it was his fault, and they still destroyed Dak Prescott. It would be front page. I'm telling y'all right now, it would have been the leading story of every media outlet, including the Cowboys beat writers. They would have been all over Dak Prescott for missing that throw. I mean, you can't get any more wide open than that. I mean, it is the play you dream of as a quarterback. To win on a walk-off 2-point conversion, it's the epitome of Josh Allen, though. A lot of people have crowned Josh Allen, but the reality is, man, Josh Allen ain't him. I'm just being honest with us. Josh Allen is not him. As much as people want to say he is, he's not him. Is he a good, great quarterback? Yeah, I think he's a great quarterback. I just don't think when it comes to making throws and things of that nature, Josh ain't him. Josh has had way more opportunities than Dak Prescott. Josh has had great defenses on the other side of him. Josh Allen has been the weak link, and I'm saying the weak link, not that he's not a great player, but man, he's made some crucial mistakes as it applies to that team getting into the playoffs. So let's talk about Brian Flores. Here we go. I think people are running too hard with the Brian Flores stuff. I think people are running way too hard with this. I'm not going to run hard with the Brian Flores conversation. It is going to be big talk coming up this offseason until Jerry Jones fires Matt Eberflus, which at this point, we don't even know if he's going to fire Matt Eberflus. Until Jerry fires Matt Eberflus, and then when if he fires Matt Eberflus, then it'll be the waiting game to see if the Cowboys can get Brian Flores. Let me go to a couple of comments here that I marked out. I want to go to Big Rumbowski, then I'm going to go to Brandy. Big Rumbowski, he said, I don't understand why fans are getting their hopes up on Brian Flores when for him it's a lateral DC move, and neither Jerry and Steven have ever been willing to play top money to coordinators. Okay. So let's deal with this right here. Let's deal with what Rumbowski is saying. So first things first. Let me see here. Let me tell you the first hurdle. Let me tell you the first hurdle of getting Brian Flores. The first hurdle of getting Brian Flores is going to be the pay. That's going to be the first hurdle. Paying him. And then in order for the Cowboys to get him, if I am not mistaken, it can't be a lateral move. If I'm not mistaken, it has to be a promotion. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I heard someone saying that if the Cowboys were to bring in Brian Flores, not only would they have to bring him in as the DC, they would have to bring him in as the assistant coach. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, somebody. But I think the first hurdle for Brian Flores is going to be the pay. Now, I'd like to know what he's making. I was trying to look up and see what Brian Flores is making. I know it's the last year on the contract. I don't see any numbers on the contract. But I would like to know what he's making, because in order for the Cowboys to get him, they're going to probably have to bring him in at around, they're paying, if I'm not mistaken, they're paying Matt Eberflus $4.5 million a year. Well, you're going to have to bring Matt Flores in at that or even more. You may have to bring Brian Flores in at more than that. Because let me tell you something. His agent is doing a great job. Who do you think's putting these stories out? Let's go to this story over here on ESPN.com. Let's go to this story over here. Who do y'all think is putting this out? Do y'all think this is the Dallas Cowboys putting this out here? Do y'all think it's the Dallas Cowboys putting out here? Hold on, let me give you two sides of the story. Do y'all think it's the Dallas Cowboys putting out here that Brian Flores, look at this. Let me show you the headline story here. Do y'all think this is the Dallas Cowboys? Do y'all really think the Dallas Cowboys are out here putting it in the atmosphere that they're after Brian Flores? Who do you think's putting that out there? Do you think that's Dallas putting that out there? Or do you think that's Brian Flores' agent putting that out there? Because I got news for you. That is Brian Flores' agent. Why wouldn't Brian Flores' agent, what would be his incentive to be saying the Dallas Cowboys are in the running for one Brian Flores? Why do we think he's doing this? I'll give you one guess. Money. He's driving up the demand. The same thing agents do the moment they have a player that the Cowboys can use. They start circulating stories about, Dallas may be interested in this certain player. Do you think Dallas is putting that out there, or do you think that's the agent putting that out there? I got news for you. That's the agent putting that out there. Why would the Cowboys be putting out there that they want Brian Flores? Why would they be doing this? Knowing full well that if they put that out there, that makes other people look at Brian Flores. Cowboys are not putting this mess out there in the atmosphere. This is his agent along with the media driving this. And the only thing this does is help Brian Flores. I mean, Brian Flores could actually have an opportunity at a head coaching job. Unfortunately, he can't go back to Miami, but Miami made a mistake. I think that the Miami Dolphins should think about bringing him in. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple of other teams that should probably think about bringing him in. And this is going to catch a couple of people off guard. But I can tell you this. Tampa Bay Buccaneers should absolutely be thinking about bringing Brian Flores in as the head coach. They should absolutely be thinking about bringing him in. And Todd Bowles, I've seen some people talking about Todd Bowles because he's probably going to be free. I'm not interested in Todd Bowles being the at least at this point. I'm not interested in Todd Bowles being the defense coordinator for the Cowboys. I'm not interested in that. I'd like to do a little bit more research and looking on Todd Bowles. But I can tell you this, Brian Flores would be great for the Cowboys because Brian Flores is more of a jolt that the Cowboys would need. He's got a different kind of swagger to him, that he would come into this organization with a different type of swagger. Man, the guy sued the league. I don't think he's going to have a problem coming up into Dallas doing it the way he wants to do it. I don't think he'll have a problem doing it. He won't be a yes man. I don't see Brian Flores being a yes man. Brian Flores is the kind of coach they need. I just don't think it's the coach they're going to get because Brian Flores, I think, is going to have some opportunities. I think Brian Flores is going to have some opportunities in this league as it applies to teams that are looking for head coaches. And again, I'm telling you, unfortunately, Miami Unfortunately, Miami isn't. I'm pretty sure they won't go backwards on him. But when you look at the teams out there that are needing a coach, let me kind of look over here going down the line. Let's see. Okay, and you know what? Let me tell you something. For as much as we're talking about the Cowboys, y'all do know there is a team in our division that could probably use a Brian Flores. And that team is the New York Football Giants. I mean, last I checked, I don't think they've hired their offensive coach. I mean, I don't think they've hired their actual coach yet. When you look over here in the AFC, we'll see what happens between the Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Steelers. They could all of them could actually move on from their coaches. All of them. I mean, especially the Browns with Kevin Stefanski. They could all be absolutely moving on from their coaches. The Baltimore Ravens, this stuff with Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, I don't know what's going on with that, but they could easily be moving on from their coach. You look at the NFC North, I would say everyone there is there to stay. Matt LaFleur is going to get an extended stay simply because Parsons got hurt. But really, it's no excuse when you think about it. You think about the last 3 seasons for the Green Bay Packers. It seems like they've underachieved all 3 seasons. So, again, I was listening to them talk tonight on the NFL broadcast. Don't think that this coach for the Atlanta Falcons is in all the way either. Don't think he's in all the way. So you got the Giants, you got the Falcons, you got the Buccaneers. I say you got the entire AFC North. They could all consider moving on from their coaches, and at least 2 of them could consider moving on from their coaches. You got the AFC South, Tennessee Titans. They could use a Brian Flores type of coach. We'll see how that goes. Who knows? The Colts could even be thinking. I mean, Brian Flores there might be a serious market. There may be a serious market out there for Brian Flores. We'll see what happens with the Raiders. Maybe they move on from Pete Carroll and do a total rebuild. There is going to be a market for Brian Flores. Arizona Cardinals, anybody. They could absolutely move on from their head coach after this season because he has been I'm sure they're saying he's been very underwhelming and underperformed. So the Cowboys are facing an uphill battle as it pertains to one Brian Flores. It's an uphill battle. His agent is out here getting the stock up of his own client. And he's doing a great job of it. And Brian Flores ain't hurting it either. Because Brian Flores' defense, he's got me rethinking the loss against the Minnesota Vikings. Because the Minnesota Vikings went out there, let's see, who did they beat just the other week? Oh, it was Detroit. I mean, they did a number on Detroit. That defense did a number on Detroit. And it had me rethinking. I'm like, hold on a second. Maybe we looked at this wrong. Do y'all realize Brian Flores without J.J. McCarthy? This is Brian Flores. Brian Flores held the Detroit Lions to 10 points? Wow. Detroit got weapons, man. Detroit got weapons, but they handled up on them. Pressure burst pipes. And Brian Flores and this defensive scheme that he has, Brian Flores was able to bring all kinds of pressure on one Jared Goff. And the box score don't even tell the whole story on this thing. But look at this, 5 sacks allowed. Imagine how many pressures they got. Brian Flores' defense held them to 5 of 14 on third down. I mean, he did a number on them. 2 interceptions thrown, 4 fumbles lost. What? Let me tell y'all something, man. The Cowboys are facing an uphill battle on Brian Flores. It's not just the money the Cowboys are facing an uphill battle on Brian Flores with. It is his success and the fact that there is going to be a market out there for Brian Flores. It absolutely is. I'll be honest with you. If he's corrected the issue that he had in the way that he handled Tua Tagovailoa, I'm just telling you right now, other than that, I think he deserves to be a head coach. This is why the Miami Dolphins went on a downward spiral, because Brian Flores is actually what revitalized. He's the one that resuscitated that Miami Dolphin program. So that when they got him out of there, they basically gradually went right back down to life support. Who they were came right back on them. And now they are what they are before. They are exactly what they were before Brian Flores became the head coach. The Cowboys are facing an uphill battle with Brian Flores. Brandon said we are cheap when it comes to coaching. Shotty McCarthy made $4.5 million a year. I think this is kind of where Brian is. Ben Johnson makes $13 million. Yeah, you're right. Flores is going to be expensive. And he's going to be more expensive than Jerry wants to pay, even at DC. Brandy, this man is probably going to be in the running for a head coaching position. And if he doesn't get a head coaching position, which it wouldn't shock me if he did, if he doesn't get a head coaching position, I think there are going to be teams. Hey, watch this part. Let's go back to the headlines over here. There's another problem with this. And this is why, again, I'm with Rombowski on this. There's another issue that we have to look at in this that I believe that it's a huge, huge monkey wrench. It's a huge monkey wrench in the equation. Let's go back to this headline. Vikings hoping to retain defense coordinator Brian Flores. There it is. Hey, there it is. Why would the Minnesota Vikings, somebody explain to me, why would the Minnesota Vikings allow Brian Flores to walk out the door? Explain it to me. Somebody's got to do some great explaining, because I don't see why with the Minnesota Vikings, when they're looking at what this dude is doing with their defense and how if they would have had it a little bit more together during the season, they would literally probably be in the playoffs and would be dangerous. They would be dangerous in the playoffs. Why in the world Minnesota gonna let Brian Flores out the door? Why in the world? Rich Lloyd, I'm gonna come back to your comment. I'm gonna come back to it. Why in the world would they let Brian Flores out the door? Somebody explain it to me. Says here, the Minnesota Vikings have had very good dialogue with defensive coordinator Brian Flores as his contract nears its expiration, Coach Kevin O'Connell said Monday. And while Flores could leave the organization if he's offered a head coaching job next month, see, that's what I'm kind of thinking, that it has to be a promotion. If I'm not mistaken, it has to be a promotion. He would have to either be the assistant head coach, or the other alternative is he becomes a head coach and it's a null and void discussion anyway. But it says he could leave the organization if he's offered a head coaching job next month. O'Connell said he does not anticipate Flores departing for a defense coordinator job with another team. Based upon my dialogue with him and obviously the enthusiasm and the want to for us to get something done, I don't anticipate that, O'Connell said. But I also know we're inside of days before our season ends. I know he enjoys being here. I know I'm excited about when hopefully I can come to this podium and say he's going to be here for as long as we can keep him before another team makes him their head coach. O'Connell hired Flores in January 2023, a year after Flores sued the NFL and multiple teams alleging discrimination regarding his interview process with the Denver Broncos and New York Giants, as well as with his firing from the Miami Dolphins. Over the ensuing 3 seasons, Flores has fielded one of the NFL's top defenses, ranking number 5 in expected points added per play. Flores interviewed for 3 head coaching jobs last offseason, but did not receive any offers. He and the Vikings agreed to leave his contract untouched heading into the 2025 season, making him eligible to depart even if it's not for a head coaching job. O'Connell, however, made it clear Monday that the team wants him back. Flo knows I love him, O'Connell said. He was the guy 3 years ago that I identified to bring in here, and the growth and just our relationship and what he's meant to me personally is so massive. And that's not even taking into account what he's been able to do defensively for our team and been such a huge part of helping us daily, minute to minute, kind of weather the different storms we had to navigate this year. Yet things are really in a positive place right now. I absolutely want Flores to be the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings as long as we can have him. So, problem, again, why would Minnesota let him out of the building? Now, let's go to the flip side of this. Because Brian Flores is going to have an opportunity, and I don't know, I'm not sure on the promotion thing, so I'm going to kind of leave it at this. As far as him being a DC for another team or a head coach for another team, he may want out of Minnesota. That's another part we have to look at. He may want out of Minnesota. But if he wants to be out of Minnesota, does that mean he wants to be in Dallas? Because there will be other teams that will be offering him, probably be offering him to come to their team at the bare minimum as the DC. So then it's going to come down to money. And this is why I believe that his agent is doing a great job, and he is out there putting these types of stories into the atmosphere. Cowboys could be lurking for Brian Flores as Matt Eberflus's lurking for Brian Flores as the Matt Eberflus replacement. And so, again, where is this stuff coming from? It says Dallas seems to be destined to fire coordinator Matt Eberflus, defense coordinator Matt Eberflus after a disastrous reunion year. Never mind the fact that owner Jerry Jones traded the defense's best player 10 days before week 1. And the increasing chatter in league circles is that the Cowboys will be firmly in play for Flores. What league circles? Help me out. What league circles? Who talking about this? What league circles are we talking about? You better believe this is Brian Flores's. I promise you, Brian Flores's representation is putting this out there. Why wouldn't he? It makes sense. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? And I'm gonna tell you now. A lot of people. I see another piece in here. It says, "Look, the Vikings, we're told, are keenly aware of the possibility. And while the Vikings should have exclusive rights to negotiate with Flores until his contract expires, we all know by now that tampering is as rampant in pro football as flopping mouthpieces that never seem to make their way into players' mouths." Okay. Okay. Jerry Jones loves to talk a big game. Will he put his money where his mouth is? He has a low-key reputation for being cheap. Rex Ryan claimed last year that he would have been hired instead of Mike Zimmer to be the defensive coordinator for the final years of the Mike McCarthy regime, but Jones couldn't pony up the money. Yeah. And and I'm telling you this is going to be the hurdle with Brian Flores, the money. Not only will it be the money, but I also think Flores, based on what I showed you of these NFL teams, Flores should have quite a few opportunities out there. If teams are being honest with themselves, Brian Flores should have at least 4 or 5 opportunities. So at the end of the day, if the Cowboys are going to get Brian Flores, somebody's going to have to tell me what's going to lower him here. Because another issue that could make him go away from the Minnesota Vikings, because if it was me, I know this is one of the reasons why I wouldn't want to stay with the Minnesota Vikings. It's J.J. McCarthy. I wouldn't want to stay if it was J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy, for me, isn't the type of he's not the type of quarterback that I want to be the defensive coordinator on the other side of. I don't think J.J. McCarthy is good enough. Hurt in his rookie season, has been hurt again this season for various reasons, missing games. I wouldn't want him. I just wouldn't want to be the defensive coordinator on the other side of J.J. McCarthy. If anything, that would probably be one of the things that would make me consider the Cowboys, because I know that they have a high-powered offense that can put up points. And so if I go over there, all I got to do, if I just do what I do, we're probably going to the Super Bowl. That's what would lure me to the Cowboys if I'm Brian Flores. Because of all the teams, and let's kind of play, and I don't like to call it devil's advocate. I just say let's just play the advocate of the truth. If I'm Brian Flores and I'm looking at the New York Giants, they're nowhere close to a Super Bowl. They're probably 2 to 3 years away from even being in playoff. I'd say 2 years away from being in the playoff contention. Even though they got a great defensive line, so you never know. That could be a lure for him. But I do think he'd probably be looking at about 2 years of building that organization to the point of even getting them to where he wants to be there. And if I was looking at these other teams, the Bengals might be attractive, but their problem is y'all think the Cowboys are cheap. The Bengals are cheap, and that's why Joe Burrow is suffering over there. He wants to get out of town. I'm not sure if I want to go there, because the big story this coming offseason could be Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals departing ways, because it's been some rumblings over there. Cleveland Browns got a really good defense. Shedeur Sanders look like he's going to be the quarterback over there. That could be attractive to him. Another one of those cold weather places, though. Tennessee Titans could be attractive, but I think they're probably about 2 to 3 years away in the rebuild process. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I would still say if I'm looking at the Cowboys versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, all things being equal, I would choose the Dallas Cowboys over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because Dak Prescott is a top 3 quarterback in the league. They have the number 1 scoring offense in the league. When I look at all the things that the Cowboys have on offense, that's where it would be attractive to me. If I'm Brian Flores, it would be attractive to me to come to the Cowboys, because I know that I'm probably pretty close to a Super Bowl with the Cowboys, because the thing that they've been missing for years is the defense. They've already got the offensive players. Looks like they're going to probably do a little bit of moving around. We'll see what they do at the tackle position. But Brian Flores gets in the building, gets hired. Then when the draft and the free agency comes around, then Brian Flores will probably be able to have some influence with him and Brian Schottenheimer putting their heads together. They will be able to have some influence on some of the defensive players that the Cowboys bring in. So the Brian Flores thing, though, I'm not going to get my hopes up on it, because, man, there's some huge hurdles to jump. Huge hurdles to jump. 1, his price. 2, I believe Brian Flores is about to have some coaching opportunities. I do. Star Gordon S., he said, Jared, give Flores your yacht and call it a day. I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. I think Brian Flores is the jolt that the Cowboys need. They need somebody with enough gumption about themselves to walk into the building and say, I'm the DC, and this is how we're doing it. And I don't want no more. I don't want no more players, because I'm telling you, man, it is what it is for me. I don't want no more players talking about what's best for the team and what's best for the defense, especially on the defensive side of the ball. The Cowboys need to cut bait with a lot of those defensive players on the side of the ball that they can cut bait with. Cut bait with anybody, and I'm telling you, cut bait with anybody left over from the Dan Quinn era if they're not up under huge contracts. If I were the Cowboys and Oso Digizua wasn't up under a contract, and we had Kenny Clark, I'd be like, let Oso Digizua go. I don't want any players left from the Dan Quinn regime on defense, because they can't get Dan Quinn out of their doggone head. I'm telling y'all right now, the problem with this Cowboys defense, it is not just Matt Eberflus. And as much as we're talking about Mike Zimmer, I'm telling y'all, man, the defense was bad under Zimmer. It was bad under Zimmer. It just wasn't as bad. And I don't know how you measure bad. They were both bad. Period. End of story. We finished last year, what? 7-10. We had injuries. But we finished 7-10. And we had games where Cooper Rush played, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, but Cooper Rush played good enough in some of those games, and we still didn't win them. We still didn't win them. We have a hate for Matt Eberflus, and I understand why we do, but I'm telling you, though, Matt Eberflus isn't the reason. He isn't the only reason why this defense is bad. This defense is bad because of some of the players, their attitudes, and their lack of effort. Matt Eberflus, yeah, I think he needs to be gone. But I'm telling you, he's not the only reason. Rich Lloyd, you're exactly right. Yeah, teams will be courting Flores for a head coach position after his performance this season. Don't y'all think? No doubt, Rich Lloyd. No doubt. No doubt. If this league is honest with themselves, Brian Flores is next man up for head coaching. If they're being honest with themselves, Brian Flores right now is next man up for the next head coaching position in the NFL, if they're being honest with themselves. Brian Flores, I'm telling y'all right now, Brian Flores is a jolt. Not just for the Dallas Cowboys. He's a jolt for any team that he comes on. Because I'm telling you, the Miami Dolphins were on their way, man. The Miami Dolphins were on their way. And Brian Flores, the issue was Brian Flores was not sold on Tua Tagovailoa. I wasn't sold on him either. And I thought Miami was crazy. Man, I thought Miami was crazy for sending Tua Tagovailoa. It is crazy to me that people were putting this man above Dak Prescott in quarterback rankings. What? Shame on people, man. Shame on people. Brian Flores was right about Tua Tagovailoa. And this is one of the reasons why, if there is something that could lure Brian Flores to Dallas, it's Dak Prescott. Having a quarterback on the other side that you know that can win a Super Bowl. Matt Eberflus, Big Rombowski, I don't know if you remember. Big Rombowski is the one who turned me on to the podcast that I think he was a guest on that Ed Water podcast, and he talked about one of the things that attracted him to the Cowboys was Rain Dakota Prescott. Brian Flores, if he doesn't get that head coaching opportunity, the thing that could attract him to Dallas, and it's going to have to be money too. It can't just be it can't just be Dak Prescott. I mean, the money. The Cowboys have got to get that money because there is a state tax up there in Minnesota. So the Cowboys would have to get that money to the point of, okay, we don't have a state tax. And so coming to Dallas in this good weather in Texas would be as good, if not better, than what you would get in Minnesota or anywhere else. You know, you got to make it worth his while financially. But Dak Prescott could be the reason why he comes. Because anybody looking at this Dallas Cowboys team right now, you'd have to be deaf, dumb, and crazy not to see that this team is probably, if it had a better DC, and let's not just blame it on him, not just a better DC. If we had a better DC and some better players, which Jerry is going to make the commitment to get, Cowboys would be very, very, very attractive to me. EJ don't want Rex Ryan. I just don't have a good feeling on Rex Ryan. If I'm the Cowboys, if I can't get Brian Flores, if I'm the Cowboys, go out there and do your due diligence and you go out there and you try to get the top defense coordinator in college, or maybe you go on another one of these coaching staffs, put them feelers out there, and you poach someone from one of these really, really successful defenses. I'm not sold on Rex Ryan, and the reason why I'm not sold on Rex Ryan is simple. If Rex Ryan was that good, Rex Ryan is not sitting behind a desk on ESPN. No great coach is sitting behind the desk on a TV network unless he's Tony Dungy and says, I don't want to coach anymore. If you're not Tony Dungy, you're not good enough, and that's why you're sitting your butt at the desk talking about football rather than coaching football. No, I don't want Rex Ryan. I am not interested in Rex Ryan at all. Yeah, Star Guardian X. Right on the head, brother. Appreciate that super chat. In other words, Jerry can't control Brian Flores. Man, when you sue the league, man, you ain't worried about what no team can do to you. You ain't worried. Man, you ain't worried. You're not worried about what no team can do to you. Man, you're going to roll up in that thing and coach. And that's exactly what the Cowboys need. Man, the Cowboys need to roll. They need to get somebody to roll up in there and just coach, man. Just coach. Don't even worry about all this other stuff. Man, once I get my foot in the door, bro, I'm good enough. I can take your defense to a high level and win a Super Bowl or whatever the case may be, and you don't like me, man, I done open up all kinds of doors. I'm not even worried no more. Yeah. Brian Flores, I said it before, Brian Flores is that jolt. If you want a jolt, if you want to take your team back to that old school way of coaching, players being accountable, players in fear, but in a good way. Players in fear knowing that anything less than winning and performing is not acceptable. Brian Flores is your man. Brian Flores is your man. Yeah, Rich Lord, I'm telling you, I hope that Rex Ryan, I don't want Rex Ryan. I don't want Rex Ryan, and I'm telling y'all the simple reason why I don't want Rex Ryan. There is no way Rex Ryan is sitting behind the desk begging to coach for the Cowboys if he's that good. Man, ain't nobody gonna let you sit behind no desk if you're that good. Ain't nobody letting you sit behind no desk. No. They gonna pay you to come from behind that desk if you're that good. So, Rex, I think the Cowboys need to get them a younger, some young, up-and-coming defensive coach. If you don't get Flores, get you some young and upcoming defensive coach. But I wouldn't bring in anybody else. Robert Dudley said, Brian Flores, what is his record against the NFC North? Let me see. It's a good question. Let's see if we can pull it up. Let me see here. Let's see. I don't see the NFC North. It doesn't say anything about them in particular. Yeah, they don't really have anything accurate on it. That'd be something that would have to be dug into by us personally. Yeah, that'd be something that have to be dug into by us personally. But I forgot. I saw who we got coming up next. I thought I'd saved it. I'm not sure if I did, but the Cowboys Cowboys got a heck of a schedule coming up next year. I kind of saw the teams that they're going to be playing. So the Cowboys got a heck of a schedule coming up next year also. We just can't get them easy schedules. I don't know why we can't get we just can't get them easy schedules. I don't know what's going on. Gravedigger said, if we decide to get Brian Flores as DC, rest in peace, NFC. I agree, because we will end up having the best defense in the NFL. I agree, Gravedigger. I agree. Football fanatic. He said he'll tune in when the topics are realistic. All right. Well, we're moving on to the next topic, and you're probably not gonna like that one either. Yeah, Gravedigger, I agree. He'll be more expensive, but you get what you pay for. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Yeah, I remember Big Brombowski in New York, but man, that was so long ago. Rex had success a few seasons with the New York Jets, but they had dogs on D. But once they left, they went downhill. Yeah, while Rex looked like the clown he is, not willing to adapt from his dad's outdated 4-6. Oh, yeah, and you don't need another one of them. You don't need another one of them. No. You don't need another one of them. You don't want him. So we'll see. Yeah, Jay, what's going on, Jaden Justin? I was trying to see what he's actually getting paid. Rich Lord, you know what? I do think that Al Harris could possibly be an issue, but I also heard that there is friction between Al Harris and the front office. And from what my understanding is, the friction between the front office and Al Harris is that they're blaming Trayvon Diggs on Al Harris. They're blaming Trayvon Diggs, if I'm not mistaken, in some form or fashion. They are associating some of the shortcomings of Trayvon Diggs and the attitude and some of those things. They are attributing that to Al Harris. And so I don't think there's a chance at Al Harris getting back in the building for the Cowboys. But hey, stranger things have happened. Ooh, Frank Lawrence. He said after this debacle, he said the Cowboys should have a head coaching vacancy. Ooh. Star Guardian, appreciate that super chat. Yeah, Star Guardian, I just said stranger things, man. Maybe Jerry will surprise us like he did with Pickens and Quentin Williams. Now, let me go out on a limb and say this, Star Guardian. Let me go out on a limb and say this. If there is a way that Jerry can get Brian Flores, I think Jerry will bring in Brian Flores. I think if there's a way, I think Jerry would bring in Brian Flores. I do. I think he would bring him in. I absolutely believe he would bring him in. Raven says, would you rather have as DC Flores or Schwartz? Where is he at? Right now, Flores. Also, would you rather the Cowboys trade for Crosby or get? Man, that's not even a question for me. Shoot. Man, if the Cowboys could get Myles Garrett, man. Man, if the Cowboys could get Myles Garrett, get Myles Garrett. Jim Schwartz. Okay, Jimmy Schwartz. Okay, so he's a head coach. Oh, Schwartz, ex-head coach from the Eagles. Hey, he was pretty good. Yeah, Schwartz was pretty good. Okay, where's Jim Schwartz now? Where is he at right now? Because I thought Jim Schwartz was in the league already. Or maybe I could be wrong. I thought he was coaching this year. Jim Schwartz, yeah. You know, kind of in my mind, the way I'm thinking right now, I would probably want to have Flores. Okay, Schwartz is over in Cleveland, right? Boy, that's a tight one right there. All right. Hey, we're going to talk about Brian Flores again. Don't y'all worry. Brian Flores, I'm calling it right now. Brian Flores, until he's either hired or signed and Matt Eberflus is fired, Brian Flores is going to be one of the top 2 stories for the Dallas Cowboys this offseason. So let's move over here to our discussion about Max Crosby. Max Crosby also is going to be the story that is not going to go away. Max Crosby is going to be the story that is not going to go away. Max Crosby, the story for Max Crosby, I guarantee y'all, the Max Crosby story isn't going to go away until this dude actually plays the first game. It isn't going to go away, guys. It isn't going to go away until they play the first game of the season, I'm sure, for the Raiders next season. Because, man, this is serious business. Max Crosby seems to be disgruntled in Las Vegas, and I think he wants out of there. And there's a lot of people actually moving out of Las Vegas. So I think he wants out of there. He definitely wants to be out of there. So Max Crosby is going to be another huge discussion coming up this season for the Cowboys. This isn't going away. This isn't going away until somebody put it to bed. So y'all get ready. This story is going to go and go and go and go. Let me see here. I've already seen like multiple stories on this. Heavy.com over here, they're writing about it. Says over here on Heavy.com, proposed trade has Cowboys landing disgruntled $106 million star for an $80 million starter. $40 million starter. I'm telling you right now, Max Crosby is the price for Max Crosby, because he was one of the first people to get signed when all of the edge rushers were getting signed. Max Crosby contract, man, would be very manageable for the Cowboys. Even signing George Pickens, it would be very, very manageable. Very manageable. It says here, the Dallas Cowboys will spend the NFL playoffs watching for home. I see you taking them shots at us. And pressure is already mounting on the franchise to make significant moves this offseason to be a contender in the NFC East for 2026. Dallas may need to once again pursue upgrades via the trade market. If you can't draft him, trade for him. Rumors are swirling with one of the NFL's top players appearing unhappy with his current franchise. No doubt about it. The Cowboys are being urged to make a run for Las Vegas Raiders pass rusher Max Crosby. And another reason why I think Max Crosby wants out of Las Vegas is I don't think he wants to be a part of a rebuild. I think Geno Smith finally, Geno said they wrote him off and he didn't write back. I got a strange feeling that Geno Smith is in the process of writing a 4-page letter, in the words of Aaliyah. I think he's in the process of writing a 4-page letter because, man, Geno, man. Geno, one of them guys, man, he's not a Dak Prescott level quarterback, which is insane that people were even saying that earlier in the season. Now we know he's not on that level. And he's not the kind of quarterback that you're wanting to build and do all these things. No, they're going to have to roll. They're going to have to roll on from Geno. And the Raiders, let me look at something real quick, because it is time to start looking at this. It is time to start looking at the draft order. Didn't think we'd be having to look at it this soon. But it's time to start looking at the draft order. And if I am not mistaken, this is the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders have the #1 pick in the draft, and they're determined to get it. They set Max Crosby down for the season. They've set their tight end down, their top tight end down, for their record-breaking tight end, I think, down for the season. They are doing everything they can do to organically tank. The Las Vegas Raiders are. I mean, they're doing everything they can do to make sure they do not win the last game of the season. They want that #1 draft pick. And that #1 draft pick, I believe they're going to get, is going to be that quarterback. And so the quarterback that just won the Heisman Trophy. So the issue is, man, we got to start thinking, you got to think some of these players, when you think about Max Crosby, let's see. Some of these players, man, they get a little bit impatient because Max Crosby is 28 years old. he'll be 29 years old by the time the season starts. The Raiders bring in that new quarterback, and they got other things they need to do too. So they're going to bring in a new quarterback, and who knows what else they're going to bring in, maybe coordinators or whatever the case may be, bringing in all this new personnel. So then this puts Max Crosby back to being 31 years of age by the time the Raiders even get back on the map of winning. And that doesn't even guarantee they're going to be in contention. So the thing that starts to mount for Max Crosby, somebody who probably wants, I know he wants to hoist that Lombardi. Man, you're getting a little bit disgruntled with the Raiders because a season that you thought was going to be better, it's absolutely trash. And then when you look at the future of the franchise, you're at 29 years of age going in. When you get to hit the next season, you're 29 years of age and you're going, man, this is a rebuild. Do you really want to be a part of a rebuild at 29? And if the Raiders are going to do a rebuild, getting from under Geno Smith's contract and doing some other things, do the Raiders really want the contract that Max Crosby has? The Raiders may very well make the same decision that the Jets made. They make the same decision the Jets made. Maybe you start cutting all the high-dollar players, bringing in draft picks, getting the salary cap ready for that rebuild. And I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if this dude doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. Max Crosby can see all the writing on the wall. He can see all the writing on the wall. He don't want to be a part of a rebuild. So Max Crosby is going to be another huge story for the Dallas Cowboys going into the 2026 season. So the writing's on the wall. We're already looking at the storylines and where the Cowboys are going to be moving towards. And I do think the Cowboys, I think they will make a run for Brian Flores in their own cheap way. And hey, stranger things have happened, Star Guarding Nets. Stranger things have happened. Maybe they make a real run for him. Maybe they make a real run for him. And I do believe the Cowboys are going to circle the block. And they're going to circle the block on Max Crosby. Cowboys, y'all watch what I tell you. Cowboys going to circle the block on Max Crosby. And why not? You got 2 first-round draft picks. Let's see. Hold on a second. The Cowboys right now, the Cowboys are at number 14. Cowboys are at number 14, in case you didn't know. Excuse me. Cowboys are at number 14. And then with the Green Bay, tell me this isn't crazy. The Cowboys are at number 21 with Green Bay. What? You know what's so funny to me? I said this when they first traded Michael Parsons and got those 2 first-round picks. One of the things I said is that, hey, you never know what happens in the NFL. I said this. I said that doggone pick that everybody was saying, oh, man, that's going to be a number 31 or a number 32 pick. That pick is already up to number 21. And if the Green Bay Packers mess around and lose again, that could be a top 20 pick. What? Man, that could turn out to be a top 20 pick. Absolutely be a top 20 pick. Wow. Nobody ever thought it. The Cowboys drafting either 14, 15, they're basically going to have 2 picks within 14 and number 20. Man. Yeah. I love it. That number 20 pick, number 21, 2019, whatever it turns out to be, a top 20 pick is actually considered to be a number, is considered to be a first round pick. Because a lot of people say that once you get past 20, those are kind of high second round picks. But hey, you get a 14 and 20, the Cowboys are going to be able to do some damage. Cowboys are going to be able to get, man, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have to calm down right now because I'm getting too excited already. I'm getting too excited already. The Cowboys should be around 14, 15, and 20, or either 21. I got a feeling they're probably going to get to about 20. So they're going to have the 14th and the 20th pick, it looks like, at the end. It might even be higher than that, depending upon how everything shakes down coming up over these coming up the next few games. Man. And so if I'm the Cowboys, giving up a top 20 pick, which the Raiders may absolutely bite on, giving up a top 20 pick for Max Crosby, I don't know about y'all, but I'm here for that. I'm here for that, man. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. The Raiders may absolutely want to do this. What's going on, Sir Nose? Yeah, I mentioned Al Harris and Sir Nose. I'm pretty sure you heard it. But for what my understanding is, there is some bad blood between the front office and Al Harrison. So I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Let me see here. Kenny Herbert, he said the coach ain't the problem, G is Jerry. I think it's a combination. And yeah, I think Jerry is some of it. But I think this year, if there's ever been a year that the coaching let Jerry down to a degree, I think it's this year. But Jerry's got to own it. He's the one that hired Matt Eberflus. He's got to own that part. He also hired Brian Schottenheimer. He's got to own both of them. But Brian, I think, is a very good. I think Brian is okay. I think he's better at being a coach than a coach and a play caller. I think like he has his games when he goes up against a defense coordinator who either doesn't have the talent. That defense coordinator doesn't have the talent, or he doesn't have the. I don't know. I just say if he doesn't have the talent, Brian can pretty much even take advantage of a good scheme because of Dak and CD and Pickens and the defensive line and Javonte Williams. But the problem is whenever we run up against good defenses, good. I'm talking about just good defense coordinators. Brian seems to fall off the boat when that happens. But I still say he's a good sideline coach. Jerry should let him do that, and Jerry should actually go out and get him a top tier OC. Rumbowski said, from what I remember reading, Al Harris left the Star flipping the bird because Jerry and Steven didn't even consider him for the DC once the spot opened up. Then Shy paid him more as a position coach too. Yeah, and Big Rumbowski. And one of the reasons why I'm hearing they didn't consider him is because he's tied to Trayvon Diggs. And they're saying that some of the stuff with Diggs is tied to Al Harris. I don't know what all that means, but that's exactly what I've been hearing. Ron Hanna, what's going on with you? Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Yeah, the Cowboys have already moved into 2026. Yeah, Robert says A or B playing for the C and D playing for the defensive coordinator job. Let's hope it does come to C or D. I'll tell you this, first things first, Cowboys got to let him go. First things first. Cowboys got to let him go. Matt Eberflus, that's the first thing. Cowboys got to let him go. Yeah, Rich Lloyd, Max Crosby signed a 3-year, $106 million extension. Yeah, 22. Hey, the Cowboys can handle his deal. They can absolutely handle his deal. I would love for the Cowboys, and I think the Cowboys they're going to circle the block on Crosby. You watch what I tell you. The Cowboys are going to circle the block on Crosby. And other teams are going to try to get Crosby too. I think one of the teams that's going to try to match the Cowboys, it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. So that Michael Parsons 2 first-round picks is going to be such weight for the Cowboys. And I think that's how the Cowboys, any player the Cowboys want, that pick, especially now, as I just showed you, now that pick is a number 20, is somewhere in the 2021, man, people were talking about that pick was going to be 30 or 32, and it's going to be nothing to the Cowboys. Shoo. What? Man, that pick is going to be a doggone top 20 pick, it looks like. That pick is probably going to be a top 20 pick. I'm telling this, man, and I said it before. I told y'all about the Green Bay Packers schedule when I was doing the road to the Cowboys. I told y'all about the Green Bay Packers schedule. Man, the Green Bay Packers schedule is brutal. It was brutal before injuries. It became even more brutal because of injuries. So the Green Bay Packers could absolutely lose the last game of the season. And that just yields more, just more dividends for the Cowboys, man. I'm loving it. Yeah, Ron Hanna said, I keep hearing they trade for Max. They couldn't sign Pickens. Honestly, I don't know. Oh, they're gonna sign both of them. Yeah, you can't let Pickens go. Pickens will set you back 2 seasons. You don't have Ryan Flanoy will not make a step big enough to fill the shoes of George Pickens. Ryan Flanoy, the Cowboys need to do exactly what they're doing. He can be the best or a top 5 number 3 receiver in the league. Leave it at that. Let him, for the next 2 years, let him be your number 3. Because he is going to dominate as those seasons go on. Because he could possibly be somebody's number 2. Ron said Garrett and Crosby re-signed, listening to their agents telling them they can bully their way later on, like in the NBA, but that doesn't work in the NFL. Yeah. I think both of them are going to regret it. I do. I think both of them are going to regret it. But I do think that you can tell that Max Crosby is actually trying to, as you say, he's trying to bully his way out of the Raiders. But because the Raiders are absolute losers, they may absolutely say, well, let's just rebuild. Because Geno ain't it. Geno is at a stage in his career. Geno requires way more than what the Raiders can acquire in a season or 2 to get them to where they want to be. So I could clearly see the path of the Raiders saying, yeah, man, it's time to just go ahead and let's do a total rebuild. We're going to bring in the quarterback that won the Heisman. We already have our running back. Let's go get us some more young pieces. Let's continue to get young. Because by the time they catch fire, man, I'm telling you, Max Crosby is in the last year of that deal. Max Crosby is in the last year of that deal. He's 31 years old by then. Now, I got a feeling this thing with Crosby, yeah, they could do this Crosby thing. I'm with you, Rich Lord. If the Cowboys are looking at Crosby like a Parsons replacement, that's a bargain absorbing his contract. Straight up. Crosby contract is easy. Man, it's easy. Be a dream come true. Be a dream come true. If they can, and I'm telling you, I will not be surprised if the Raiders is game. Especially if that Green Bay pick is a number 20 pick. The Raiders get the number 1 pick, then get to come back and, man, ain't no way if I'm the Raiders, I'm passing that. Ain't no way if I'm the Raiders, I'm bypassing getting in the first round 2 times. Man, you could build your whole franchise. I mean, you could really get the cornerstone of your franchise in this coming draft. Go in that joker and get your quarterback. I'm not sure who's out there at left tackle. We'll be looking more at that as the weeks go on. Man, go out there and get you another cornerstone defensive player. Max Crosby, I'm telling you, the Max Crosby thing actually sounds more feasible to me than the Brian Flores thing. Freddie Morales, El Chuco in the house. Good to see you, Freddie. Yeah, Demetrius Noel, you know I've already pointed this out. Sacks is not the proven way to win. Actually, defensive tackles are the key to winning Super Bowls, but you still need to have that edge rusher. And I look at Max Crosby, with what the Cowboys have on the defensive line right now. Max Crosby, because he's a nasty type of player. Max Crosby could be that Charles Haley type player the Cowboys bring in. He could be that Charles Haley type player. And you put him with Jadeveon Clowney, James Houston, Donovan Ezeraku, man, you've already solved your edge rushing issue. You've solved it. You solved it. You can move on. You don't even have to, you can just move on. Move on. Don't even have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about getting a player you have to develop. You don't have to worry about another Okay, you got in Donovan Ezeraku, but you gotta give him a year or two to get his feet. No, you don't even have to do that with Max Crosby. So giving up that Green Bay pick, oh man. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. Man, the Cowboys got a great opportunity. JD, what's going on, JD Scott? Cowboys got a great opportunity. Good evening, Danny. Dallas Cowboys, let's go. He is going good. He said, let's get hyped. Let's go and get Caleb Downs and Max Crosby. This is our year, 2026 Super Bowl run. I'm with you. I believe the Cowboys are going to try to make 2026 be that season. I think they're going all in. They're going to push all those chips to the middle of the table. I think they're going all in. I do. And the thing about Max Crosby, I like about Max Crosby is good against the run too. That's why I like Max Crosby. I think Max Crosby is going to be a possibility for the Cowboys. I think they're going to go after him. They're going to circle the block on him. So, again, just looking at those first two topics, I chose those because this is where we're going to be moving towards 2026. These will be the two big conversations. And I still say we don't even have a guarantee in the grand scheme of things. I mean, we don't even have a guarantee the Cowboys are going to let go of Matt Eberflus. I don't think the guarantee is there. So, all right, guys, real quick, let me show you this, and then we're going to move on to our next topic. Do not forget, if you have not already, I put the link down there in the chat. Please go subscribe to the G Sports Nation. I am going to be talking all things NFL on the G Sports Nation. I want to keep all of my focus on the Cowboys channel, 99% of Dallas Cowboys, and just keeping us focused and going on that. But I also want to, for those of us who want to follow the rest of the stuff in the NFL and seeing what's going on around us that affects us, and even some things that don't affect us, I'm going to be talking about those things on the G Sports Nation. So y'all make sure, if you have not subscribed, please go over there and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Also, because I will be posting my first video on that channel over the next couple of days. And I plan to start the live streams up on that channel starting next week. So, man, I'm excited. Very, very excited about this new channel. I think y'all are going to enjoy it, as we'll be able to do a lot more things over there. I'm going to start out talking all about football, but I do plan to move to some basketball. And I think Rombowski was asking one. He also said, "Hey, give us some hockey news too." So you never know, we might talk about the Dallas Stars over there too. All right. Let me read my man JCT Slice. He says, appreciate that super chat. He said, G. He said, never go full Eagles fan. Yes, sir. He said there are Eagle fans like Shane that I've seen say Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFL. Laugh out loud. They call us delusional. Man, let me tell you something. I'm just being, and I'm just being facetious. I was about to say I'm being honest, but I'm being facetious. But man, I believe with a little bit of practice, I might have been able to take that doggone Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl team last year to the Super Bowl. Cam Newton could have came out of retirement and took that team to a Super Bowl easy. I mean, we're watching what Phillip Rivers is doing with the Colts. I mean, Phillip Rivers could have took that team to the Super Bowl last year. Absolutely could have took them to the Super Bowl last year. All right, so we're gonna move on to. Okay, so I'll tell you what we're gonna do. So we're gonna move on to Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones actually has a very short interview, and before we get to the Brian Schottenheimer presser, y'all get ready. We are going to play the sounds from the sidelines. The sounds from the sidelines coming up after Brian Schottenheimer. All right, let's see here. Let's go over here to 105.3 The Fan. Very interested to hear Stephen Jones. I think Stephen Jones this year has talked some really good football. He's been a very interesting listen, really gets to the point, doesn't hit us with a lot of the uhs and the uhs and the ows, and not to be trite. You know, I think Stephen is really hitting us with some good stuff. Let's check out Stephen Jones.
We bring you Dallas Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys.
Man, we've talked
Hope you had a good Christmas.
Yeah, I hope you had a good Christmas as well. I feel like we all know kind of the lore of the Jones cabin after family post-Christmas tradition.
Not really. There's more of a Christmas tradition, which is at my parents' house, and we do that, and do that usually a couple days beforehand and around ball games. But it's a great time, and between my brother, sister, and I and our children, we get to hang out with Gene and Jerry, and we have a really festive afternoon and evening.
You know, we talked to Jerry.
Man, I cannot wrap my head around Stephen Jones calling his father Jerry. Man, I don't know, man. I'm cut from a different cloth, man. I couldn't have my children calling me by my first name. I couldn't do it. I got some issues with that. My son, as a matter of fact, he works with my wife, and he calls her by her. He has to call her by her name because it's in a professional setting. I just can't wrap my head around it, man. I can't wrap my head around this thing with Steven. It's hard for me to wrap my head around my own son doing it. But I don't care where I'm working. I couldn't have my sons calling me by my first name.
Leading into that Christmas game, and I'm sure this is the hope for you, the hope for the league. Do you feel like Christmas football can become as entrenched in our society as Thanksgiving football is?
Absolutely. I think people are relaxed. I think they're looking for entertainment. I think they're looking, to get a lot of things off their mind and just enjoy their families. And I think sport and football certainly has a way to do that, a way about it that people really embrace it. They certainly have shown they do it at Thanksgiving, and I think we can grow this into something very special.
You know, Dak has talked a whole lot about closing the season with pride and reaching 500 for the season. What would getting that final win and finishing at 500 mean to you and to the organization?
Yeah, I think it's obviously something we've got our eye on the ball on. I mean, we're, disappointed we're in this position. We really, felt like after that 3-game run during Thanksgiving that we were getting back in it and had a shot, but we didn't play our best ball there for, starting with Detroit. But, feel like we're getting our hands around it again, and certainly, it would be something we could build off of in the off season is finish strong. And, we just feel like we got a lot of pieces in place between, obviously the offense had a great year, and we still got a lot of work to do on defense. It just never quite came around to the level that we need it to be to be competing for a championship. And that's where we have to be. But at the same time, we do think we put a lot of pieces, on that defensive side of the ball. Certainly we've fired up about, having 2 number 1 picks going into the off season, and, just feel like we're really heading into a good direction with Shotty and his staff and this football team. And it'd be great to finish strong.
And Stephen.
Yeah, I'm torn on this one. I'm absolutely torn on this one. I got to admit. Dak Prescott wants to play the last game of the season. And I know we say be smart, with Dak Prescott and things like that. But then I also say, but had you won, Dak Prescott would still be playing. I mean, if the Cowboys were in playoffs contention, he would still be having to play. I'm torn on it. I'm really torn on the Dak Prescott conversation. I really am. I really am. I understand Dak wanting to play. Dak didn't play hardly. I mean, he didn't play but half a season last season. So I understand Dak Prescott wanting to play. I understand Dak Prescott not wanting to have losing seasons. I think this is all playing into the legacy of Dak Prescott. I don't think this is Dak Prescott stat padding. I think this is Dak Prescott seeing his entire legacy. And I think that Dak Prescott knows he's going to get a Super Bowl. And when it's all said and done, all these things that it's something as simple as not having one losing season, you may not think that's a big deal now, but it will be a big deal as there is going to be, and y'all watch, and I hope we all be alive long enough to see it, but there will be Hall of Fame conversation about Dak Prescott, I believe, by the time his career is over. Because Dak Prescott has already solidified Hall of Fame level numbers. He's already solidified Hall of Fame level numbers. The only thing Dak Prescott is lacking now is playoff success and that Super Bowl. But if he gets that Super Bowl, and I believe he gets that Super Bowl within the next 2 seasons, you can book it. You can book it. If Dak Prescott ends the drought in Dallas, which I believe he will before he gets out of here, if he ends the drought, you can book it. I guarantee you, Dak Prescott will be first ballot Hall of Famer. First ballot Hall of Famer. 1 Super Bowl is all it'll take. 1 Super Bowl is all it'll take. He's already got the numbers. 1 Super Bowl. That's all it'll take. So Dak is looking at all of this. He's looking at that entire legacy. That's what Dak Prescott is looking at. I don't think he's trying to necessarily pad his stats, because Dak Prescott has actually had opportunities to pad his stats and he chose not to do it. So I don't think that's the whole issue here. I think he's looking at that entire legacy. It is what it is. Rumbowski said earlier that if he plays, that he hopes the New York Giants don't let him go out in peace. Man, I guarantee you, Dak Prescott makes it into that second half, he is going out in peace. Because by that time, the New York Giants going to fold that 10 up, man.
Sticking with those picks that you mentioned, you and the front office members mentioned around the draft season that you usually finish with less than 20 or so first-round grades, somewhere like 16 to 17 on a good year. And there's a chance you could be picking outside of that talent window. What would you say to people that are more concerned about picking within that talent window versus finishing the year strong?
Yeah, I just think, finishing and winning is so important. And, I still think we're going to be right there where there's some, and, our 1-2-0 grades are really a lot of them are just right borderline first round grades. And there's been a lot of great players come out of those 1-2-0s. And we just feel like there's going to be similar type players once you get into where we're probably going to be picking, which is, probably somewhere between 11 and 21 if you count Green Bay's pick, and just think there's going to be some good football players there.
Oh, yeah.
Fair to assume we all really want Green Bay to lose in the first round of the playoffs, though, right?
I hate to root against people, but yes, they would understand why we're rooting against them. And we want our picks, obviously their pick, to be as good as.
I think Green Bay is one and done. I think Green Bay is one and done. Flat out. I do. Appreciate you, John Jeter. Appreciate you down there, John. James Jeter. Appreciate you, James Jeter. Congratulations, G. Much success. Yeah, I appreciate you, but it's all about y'all, man. Couldn't do it without you. So I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for sure. Man, 72 JaVale, I just saw that score on the Rams game. Insanity. Yeah, Ron Henner. Yeah, I don't know if I can do the hockey. Yeah, but again, hey, it's now 14-7. Man, it ain't gonna last. I think the Rams gonna run right past them boys. Rich Lloyd said Crosby had 17 tackles for loss last season. Myles Garrett had 22 and led the league. Crosby is a lead against the run. That's why I want him. That's why I want Crosby. Crosby is a great all around. He's not an edge rusher. He's a true defensive end. And that's why I like Newhouse fam in this thing. What up, Newhouse fam? He said, I don't care what moves the Cowboys do next season, just win us another Super Bowl. They're going to get it. You watch what I tell you. They're going to get it. No doubt in my mind. They are going to get it. Yeah, Gravedigger, he said only time will tell, G. If they don't do nothing this offseason, they're not serious about 2026. Hey, watch what I tell you, Gravedigger. They're going to make ferocious moves. The Cowboys are going, y'all watch what I tell you. They are going to make some killer moves in 2026. They're going to solidify George Pickens. You gotta nail that down. Got to nail down George Pickens because he's a big part of what you're going to be able to do over the next 2 years. They're going to nail down George Pickens. They're going to get Brandon Aubrey signed. They're going to, if the Cowboys let go of Matt Eberflus, understand they have to let go of Matt Eberflus as early as possible. And at the latest, they have to let go of him before the actual season starts. Because you want all of your coaches in the building by the time the season starts, what is it, in March? You want everybody in the building because it's going to be draft time. You want him in the building. You want your new DC in the building so he can start telling you his defensive philosophy so you can then say these are the players that we're going to bring in. You can waive players and post June 1st designations. Start cutting, get everything going, get it ready to go. Go in the draft, fill some holes, undrafted free agency, fill some holes. You'll have, free agency, the draft, the undrafted free agents, then the cut down period at the end of the preseason. You want that coach there for all of that. And especially, I say, get him in the building as early as possible. Football don't quit for those guys. They're going to get a little bit of a break. They'll get a little bit of a break, and they're going to be right back at it like they never left. So they got to go ahead and get this defensive coordinator. And I say, for me, I say the Joneses, I don't think they need to hold anybody in suspense. If the Cowboys are going to let go of Matt Eberflus, I don't think they should wait any longer than the week after the season is over. Bare minimum. If I'm the Cowboys, the week after the season is over. It wouldn't even bother me if it was after the last game of the season. And just say in the press conference, yeah, we relieve Matt Eberflus of his duties. He is no longer coaching the Cowboys. But I don't think it's enough for the Cowboys to let go of Matt Eberflus. If they let go of Matt Eberflus, let go of all those 4 or 5 staff members he brought over with him, think it was 5, let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Couldn't do it. Yeah, Baz, I'm telling you, man. He said, I'm not at that stage yet with my little girl, but we not playing that. It's dad, man. I'm telling you, Baz, I couldn't do it, bro. I couldn't do it. Dude be running around calling Jerry. Come on, man. Rich Lord said, gee, I agree. My kids call me dad. They know better than to call me anything else. It's a respect thing. Man, I don't care if it's a business situation, bro. I couldn't imagine calling my dad by his name. I don't care what the situation is, man. I can't do it, man. I can't call my dad. I cannot call my dad by his first name. I can't do it. Can't do it. It's too much for me. I wouldn't even feel right doing it, man. Robowski, he said, for myself, I feel more stupid every time I listen to Steven. Man, I think he talks better football than Jerry. I really do. Appreciate you, Papa Shug. I think he speaks better football than Jerry. I think he speaks more clear and concise.
It can possibly be. So whoever they're up against, I'm sure we'll be rooting for them.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about Javonte Williams. I wanted to shift gears and get your thoughts on the play of Jadeveon Clowney this season. And when he talks about he wants to be ready earlier next year and everything, do you think he has merited a spot on this team next year?
Absolutely. I mean, he's played a very high level. He's played, he's been one of our best pressure players, and Obviously has a great pedigree, being the first pick in the draft, albeit a few years ago. But no, we'd love to have Jadeveon back. We'll be talking with his guys right away, and would love to get him in the mix. And love, because he is a leader, we'd love to have him in the mix from the get-go, which would be outstanding. So hopefully with his willingness to want to be here and us wanting him to be here, hopefully we can figure something out.
You've always, over the years, given us.
All right, let me read some more of these dad comments, man. I'm like, y'all got me laughing with these dad comments. And then we're going to comment on what he said about Clowney. Newhouse fam said, don't call me by my first name. Cuss around me, telling me to shut up, don't talk back, or else we're going to have problem kids. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I'm with you, bro. Man, I am with you. Man, I can't deal with it, man. Gravedigger said, my kids call me by my first name. They about to find out these hands are rated E for everyone. Yes, sir, bro. I'm the same way. Can't do it. Boy, James Jeter, boy, you ain't lying about Dak Prescott. He said, enjoy Prescott now. I remember the Quincy Carter years. Hey, and let me tell y'all something, man. I'm calling cap on anybody who put the story out that Joe Milton was better than Drake May and challenging Drake May for the number one position. I'm calling cap on that, man. Because if this dude was challenging Drake May, people need to be beating the Cowboys' doors down, trying to get Joe Milton for a number 2 pick. They should be beating the Cowboys' doors down, man. This dude, Drake May, is in the running for the MVP. What? Shoot. Man, you telling me Joe Milton is that good? Well, he's the quarterback of the future. He isn't a bridge quarterback. He's the quarterback of a future. He's the quarterback of the future, if that's the case. Angel Eyes, what's going on? Angel Eyes said, I think he should play just because he needs to do it for his mental one last time this season and finish strong. Yeah, I'm torn, Angel Eyes, because I can clearly understand where Dak Prescott is. Dak Prescott is wanting something to build off of. Dak wants to build off of something. He wants them to go into this offseason saying 8-1, 2-game winning streak at the end. We should have been better, could have been better. Let's get this, let's keep building on winning. Because I keep telling people, man, people got to understand, winning, you don't turn that on and off. That's why teams that tank, you think about teams that tank, how long it takes them to get back to winning. Takes teams time to get back to winning. When you tank, man, you got to get that loser's mentality out of there. Roberta Bacon, what's up? I'm sad. I'm sorry to inform you. Cowboys have not got a new GM yet, Roberta. Boy. Freddie says, shoot, you call my dad by his first name or mama by hers, and man, you got to get the belt by my dad and the chance, aka flip-flop by my mom, and not able to sit for a week. Yes, sir. Yeah. All Bass, I remember them days, man. That's why I didn't get in trouble a lot. Bass said my mama make me go choose my own branch. That's what my grandmother used to do. Boy, I never got a whooping by her either. And if that thing was too small, Bass, if that switch was too small, oh, you didn't want her to go get it. Man, she'd go out there and put that ladder up in that tree in the front yard. She'd put a ladder up on that tree and she'd go out there and get that little small handle saw. Oh, you know you about to get the whooping of your life, boy. He said when you was young, it was about fear. They wanted to teach us respect. That's why we different than this new generation. Facts. I was one of them people that didn't take many whoopings from me. Some of my cousins, it took them a lot of whoopings. It didn't take me but one or two. I was like, if this is what come with being bad, I know what to do. Rich Lloyd said, G, do you think there will be aggressive moves in trades and free agency in the offseason because Jerry's realizing his mortality? Rich Lloyd, there is no doubts in my mind. This is why Jerry's going to circle the block. They're going to circle the block on Max Crosby. If they don't get Max Crosby, I'm not going to be surprised if they bring in Trey Hendrickson and then probably go in the draft and still get them another defensive end. They're going to sign George Pickens. I believe this is a top priority for the Cowboys. They're going to sign George Pickens. I think they're going to be extremely, extremely aggressive. Extremely aggressive. Angel I said, OGP is definitely a boy for at least 4 years. Yeah. CD is locked for 4, so yeah, they're not going to break up the band. Yeah, you got to keep them too. You got to keep them too. Because if you don't, you set the entire franchise back. Queen, what's going on? All right, so let's listen to the rest of Stephen Jones. Let's check him out. Then we're going to check out sounds from the sideline.
Really good insight on the salary cap. I'm curious, and maybe the process changes every single year. Do you guys sit down and you go, well, we're going to, flip the switch on Dak, Tyler, CD, whatever the case is, and this is the real amount of money that we're going to be working with going into the offseason?
Yeah, we've already, we have our different iterations of the cap, and certainly have iterations where we work the majority of, if not all of our high-priced guys, and seeing what we can really do here to keep, guys like George Pickens and Javonte Williams, and as you mentioned, Jadeveon Clowney, and see if we can keep those guys around. And certainly that's what we've been working on. We've been our group that works in and around our cap have been hard at it, and we'll take a long, hard look at it and see what we have there. Obviously, we've added some players, and, when you look at guys like Kenny Clark and Q and those guys, so obviously those guys are going to be a big part of it. We signed Osa last year. So we feel like we're in good shape, and that, we can certainly make this team better, and we plan on doing that.
And Kenny Clark feels like maybe kind of a unique situation in terms of he's still under contract, but there's no guaranteed money left on the contract. Does that give both sides some more flexibility to make sure something can be worked out?
Absolutely. And Kenny's just been more than advertised for us. He's a leader. He's a man's man. He's great on the field. He's great off the field in the room with the guys. He's a guy we want to have around here.
And Stephen, focusing on the defense, specifically on the linebacker position, I want to know your thoughts on.
Okay, so this is something that I didn't think about. So the Cowboys may be able to go back and rework Kenny Clark's deal, since Kenny Clark has one of those Trayvon Diggs deals where he doesn't have any guaranteed money left. So the Cowboys may be able to go in and work something with Kenny Clark to where maybe the Cowboys extend Kenny Clark. Maybe they extend Kenny Clark, put his money into a signing bonus, and then kick whatever they need down the line. That way they can keep Kenny Clark, because the Cowboys have got to keep Kenny Clark also. Osa and Quinnen is not good enough. They need Quinnen and Kenny and Osa. But you can't let Quinnen be with Osa. Quinnen and Kenny are the best tandem. You have got to keep Kenny. You've got to keep Kenny Clark. Also understand this. Let's not forget this. The Cowboys are going to save $13 million making Trayvon Diggs a post-June 1st cut. So the Cowboys are already going to save money on him. The Brandon Aubrey, Rumbowski brings up Brandon Aubrey. Brandon Aubrey is going to be a no-brainer for the Cowboys, but we are talking about kicker money. So, the highest paid kicker is somewhere around $6 million, somewhere in there, 6.5, 7 million. So Brandon Aubrey won't be I don't think his deal will be that intimidating for the Cowboys. They should be able to make that deal pretty easy. But the key to what the Cowboys are doing right now or what they got to do starting out, first things first, Brandon Aubrey, George Pickens, solidify the Kenny Clark thing if you need to, and get the Jadeveon Clowney deal done. Then let's start figuring out the Max Crosby thing, because I think the Cowboys are going to circle the block on Max Crosby for sure. There is no doubt on my mind. No doubt in my mind. They are going to circle the block on Max Crosby, and I think the Cowboys are going to make a strong play for Crosby. Yeah, I'm checking this out with Matthew Stafford. So it looks like he threw a pick six, and so the game is now 21-0. That is literally insane. Rumbowski, he says about Joe Milton, my Joe Milton comment. Rumbowski said, I think it was more Joe Milton thought he was better than Drake May. I think so too. Him fixing his face mask in the middle of a quarterback scramble while holding the ball like a loaf of bread might have made him reconsider. Man, I'm telling you. Ron Hanna said the same thing. He said, whoever said that is lying to y'all. Drake May is going to win the MVP. Man, Drake May balling. And it don't hurt. And I think that Dak would probably win the MVP if Dak was on a team that had a better record. But because of the record that they also possess, shoo. There's a good chance he may win MVP. Drake may win MVP. It's a good chance. And with the way Matthew Stafford playing tonight, he gonna really give him a leg up. Yeah, Ron, I remember about Dak breaking the ankle. I also understand this. I understand the Giants have a ferocious pass rush. They got a ferocious defensive line. So we'll see what the Cowboys do. For sure. We'll see what they do. But yeah, I'm with you, Papa Shug. Yeah, signing GP is going to be a top priority. Yeah, Mills, this is going to be the issue with the Cowboys. Mills said the Cowboys wait too late to do stuff. Say we got to get another DC. They're going to wait till May. Mills, I'm telling you, I hope they don't. And I know Jerry likes to build that suspense. I hope they don't. But I definitely say with Matt Eberflus, if you really want to set 2026 in motion, I don't think you wait but a week. I think you wait a week's tops. Don't even have Matt Eberflus in that type of suspense. Cut him ASAP. Cut him ASAP. That's how I see it.
Logan Wilson and his progression, as he did not play a single snap last week, and just overall what you think needs to be done at that position group going into the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, that was unfortunate with Logan. We had just they didn't have many snaps throughout the game, much less, obviously, in the first half, very few snaps. And, we'll say it was, I wouldn't call it a mistake, but some confusion in terms of how that rotation was supposed to go with Coach Berganzi and the rotation there. It was certainly wasn't the intent for him not to play a snap, but sometimes the game with not many snaps on one particular side of the ball, things can not go according to plan. So I'm sure Shotty will address that as well. But I certainly think a lot of Logan and what he brings to the table. But, we're going to roll up our sleeves and look at all the areas where we have to improve. And, K9's had his moments this year where he's played well, and he's obviously very talented. And Logan's obviously a guy we think can help there, but we've got to really roll up our sleeves and see how we can make this defense better in the offseason.
Logan Wilson may absolutely be a part of the 2026 plan. Because I can tell you now, Kenneth Murray cannot be a part of the 2026 plan. And they are talking, I'm not buying the whole Kenneth Murray, and I am not putting Kenneth Murray on another defensive coordinator. No, Kenneth Murray cannot be a part of the plan. I think Logan Wilson is a part of the 2026 plan. So I think we'll see a lot about him coming up in the next season. But man, you are disrespecting dogs all over the world calling Kenneth Murray the K9, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. I mean, I'm not trying to talk bad about Kenneth Murray, man, but calling this man K9 is representative of him being a dog, I'm sure. Come on, man. Disrespecting dogs all over this thing, man. What up, real estate vet? So 72 said Vach and Broadus was talking about the defensive tackle from Georgia being a good pick in the draft, but they were just starting to get into the draft. Yeah, I'm gonna wait until after the last game, and then I got quite a few stories I'm gonna do next week after the season is over. I got a couple of big stories that I'm working on, talking about the season and, things that happened during the season that the Cowboys can improve upon going forward. Cowboys got work to do. Steven is right. They got work to do. Yeah, Rich Lloyd said it's hard to evaluate this defense. Flus makes elite players look average with this scheme. Get rid of Flus and let's see what we got with these players. Now, Rich Lloyd, let me balance this out. But let me tell you why, even if we get rid of Flus, there are a group of players that I'm done with. Because I saw them with Mike Zimmer. And I actually watched them struggle with Mike Zimmer. And the only reason they got better with Mike Zimmer is that Mike Zimmer implemented some of the Dan Quinn stuff to make it easier for him. There are some players on this defense, they can't do anything else. I mean, bottom line, they can't play any other way. I want to get rid of Flus. I want to bring in my DC. I want to pick his brain. What is your defensive philosophy? What do you want to do? I want to know, what do you want to do? I'm not going to pigeonhole him into saying, okay, these are the players that we have. This is what they can do. Well, what good does it do to be talking about his system? No, I want to bring him in. Hey, what is your defensive philosophy? And looking at our players, which of those players do you believe can work into your system? Based on what, because we got a lot of tape out there. We got 2 years of tape on some of these guys. Trayvon Diggs cannot come back for me. If I'm the Cowboys, Trayvon Diggs cannot come back for me any shape, form, or fashion. No more Trayvon Diggs. Kenneth Murray cannot come back for me. No shape, form, or fashion. The safeties. Man, I'm really questioning on whether or not I'd even want to bring back these two safeties. I'm really questioning it. These guys may be good at blitzing. They may be good in the box. They are liabilities in the passing game. And we've seen these guys struggle. We saw them struggle with Zimmer. I don't want any more of those players left. None of those players. I want to try to let the next DC have as much of a fresh start as he can have, while at the same time making sure he's got Quinnen Williams, he's got Kenny Clark, he's got Osa, he's got Jadeveon Clowney, James Houston. I want him to have Ezra Raku. I want to make sure that he gets the best version of Demarion Overshown. We'll see. Let's keep Logan Wilson. You got him for one more season. I mean, if you can afford him, keep Logan Wilson. Cornerback room, Savon Revel Jr. I'm excited about him. Savon Revel Jr. Deron Bland, it is what it is. You already paid him. You got to keep Deron Bland. Everybody else, no guarantees. No guarantees. And I want to do as much as I can to try to replace those players. To try to replace a lot of those players that we say maybe they're not what they were supposed to be. I want them to get the DC in and really pick his brain and ask him what kind of players do he want and see how that goes. Bass said Flus sabotaged the Cowboys before. He's doing it again. He wants to be a head coach again. The way he controls all aspects of the defense shows he's power hungry. He feels superior to the shot. He just look. Well, I can tell you this. If you call that a sabotage, he failed. He failed. And see, this is the problem with sabotaging anybody. It's hard to sabotage somebody if you're not winning. Because you can't lose. You can't lose on your side of the ball and then say, I want you to get rid of the head coach. No, you got to win on your side of the ball. You really can't win in this league trying to sabotage nobody. That doesn't work. Yeah, that absolutely doesn't work. He dug a ditch. If he did dig that ditch, he fell into it. He fell into it. Angel Eyes, wait a minute. You don't like Cooper Beebe? Cooper Beebe, let Cooper Beebe walk and free up money for Javonte. Angel Eyes, you do not like Cooper Beebe. Isn't Cooper Beebe our center? Cooper Beebe has been one of the best centers in the league. Oh, okay. You talking about in the last game. Watch the last game for confirmation. Beebe got ran the... Okay, I'm about to watch that. James, backside of that secondary can go. That's where I am. Whole thing, get out of here, man. Whole thing can go. AG, appreciate you. He said the best content. Appreciate you. Let him go, man. Hey, there said Green Bay one and done. I believe Green Bay one and done. Bad said, look at what's happening with us. Jerry hires Matt Eberflus. Boy, you and these names. Matt Eberflus. Eberflus, and we trade Michael. Players complain. Players don't perform. Players get injured. Players rebel. Yeah. And I don't blame that on Matt Eberflus as far as the Michael Parsons thing goes. I blame Jerry for the I blame Jerry for the Michael Parsons issue. Not because he traded Michael Parsons, because he did it too late. That's where I fault Jerry. He did it too late. He let the drama get too far into the game. He shouldn't have let the drama get that far into the game. Man, if you're going to trade Michael, I still say trade Michael before the draft. Bro, you probably would have got a king's ransom. But again, the butterfly effect, you don't get Quinnen Williams. I think Quinnen Williams is a cornerstone piece. You don't get an opportunity to get defensive tackles like that every single day. So it is what it is. It turned out, and we got Quinnen. We got Quinnen Williams. We got Kenny Clark. We'll see what the Cowboys do with that contract. But I say the Cowboys defensive line, you can't ask for hardly anything better on the defensive line. So all they got to do now is get them a pass rusher. All right. Let's let Stephen Jones give his last line here.
On the part of the player or the position coach?
The position coach and the staff, the defensive staff.
Well, we appreciate the time.
This defense better in the offseason.
Confusion on the part of the player or the position coach?
The position coach and the staff.
Okay, you're talking about Logan Wilson. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate the time very much in the talk about momentum going into that final game. We're all looking forward to it on Sunday. Thank you very much for the time, good sir.
Thanks, guys.
There you go. Stephen Jones right here.
Hey, man, let me tell y'all something. Man. This dude, Jordan Love, better be thanking his lucky stars. This kid, Malik Willis. If I'm a team right now, and I'm looking for a quarterback, and I'm not in the number one spot, Malik Willis is a top priority for me. Malik Willis is a top priority at quarterback for me right now. This dude, Malik Willis, has balled out. And I'm telling you now, if Jordan Love didn't have that contract, he should be he would be very afraid right now. He would be very afraid right now. Malik Davis is a baller. I'm sorry, not Malik Davis, Malik Willis. Malik Willis is a baller. I'm telling you right now. Any team looking for a quarterback right now, if Malik Willis, I appreciate y'all for the blessings. If Malik Willis is not on your list, you ain't serious about a quarterback if you ask me. You are not serious about a quarterback right now if Malik Willis is not on your list. All right, guys, so let's break up a little bit. Let's break up a little bit of the monotony before we get into the Brian Schottenheimer press conference. Let's listen to the sounds from the sideline in case you haven't heard it.
Merry Christmas. Hey, Merry Christmas, man. Hope y'all having a great time. See if we can give y'all something to enjoy today. Shout out to the fans back at home, Mom, Duke, my siblings, my baby girl, my wife, man. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. It's a very jolly time.
Merry Christmas. Let's go Cowboys.
Man, Merry Christmas, man. Blessed to be out here, man. Let's get the dub today. Let's get it.
Go here and play relentless football. You got it? For 4 quarters, however long it takes. All right, I'm glad to be here with you guys. It's a blessing to be here with you guys. Let's go and compete at a high level, and let's do this the right way. Staying in the fight for 4 quarters. Okay? Game is meant to be played with violence. Play violent today. It's the business trip. We came to show our brotherhood and one love. Every play, dominate, keep it about each other. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win.
First possession of the game on Christmas Day. Here's a handoff to Williams on 1st and 10.
Never seen him get tackled by a ball carrier, ever.
2nd and 10 at the 48, and Malik Davis, the running back, and he breaks into the secondary.
League. Yeah, league.
And on 3rd down, Prescott does a quick out to Pickens on the left side for a 1st down, breaks a tackle.
He a hip hop country singer. He's what Lil Nas was. He wrote Beyonce country album. Oh, okay. That's how he got famous. You know what? He wrote Beyonce country album. Oh, really? Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Right now we're only at 2nd down. Prescott under center. Play action back to throw. Right side of the end zone. Back of the end zone, Ferguson.
Yeah! This is what we do! Yeah! Touchdown! This automatic! I'm not damn near score every time I touch the ball, bro. But you can everybody with that move.
At the Dallas 3-yard
Darren
line.
Posey in the building.
Johnson's in the shotgun.
What's up, Posey?
Looking left. Now a rush, and Clowney's got him at the 11.
Hey, you called it. Good. Hey, they ain't gonna be pretty, man. Hell no. As long as we get them down.
And it's 4th and a long one. Shotgun for Prescott. Snap is back. Has time. Over the middle. Pickens open at the 40. Down to the 30.
Should have been a horse collar.
Monogany can bring him down. Prescott under center. Lamb in motion right to left. Hand off to Javonte Williams up the middle. Powell.
I told my coach it's a touchdown. That boy is a Williams. That boy is a Williams. Balling, bro. It don't matter. I'm so fired. No, he ain't worried about all that. It don't matter. Yeah, you do that. Is that? It doesn't matter. What route do you want us to run? What route do you want to see us run? They ain't got to think too much. They be thinking too much. They be in their own head. Just call a play and let us spin. It's so easy. I don't care what covers they in. Let's go that way. So when you see me do this, from now on, I'm saying let's go deep.
3rd and 11. 4-man rush. Prescott a deep drop. Flag is down. Deep ball to the middle of the field. Caught Turpin.
And it is against the defense. It's offside.
other guy. Not on that play. I envision that we're about to have a long pass.
Because the Commanders start at the 40 and they run a little reverse to Samuel. Running right, Samuel to the Dallas 40.
That boy Debo Samuel balled out against the Cowboys, man.
Back to his right, snap is back over to McCoskey. Merritt, he tears right up the middle, through the line and dashes in.
Let's go, Let's go, Ray. Let's go get the box. Go get in the box.
Now it's 3rd and a long 5. Prescott in the shotgun. Oh, he's flushed out. There's nobody there. He keeps, he tucks, he runs, he turns left, he crosses the 40.
Like he didn't even cut it hard, but banana hooped around and still made miss. Oh my goodness. Cause that was not crazy enough for him to make like 4 people miss, bro.
Josh Johnson under center. They send a receiver in motion to the right. Burks.
That's on me.
Merritt, there's a hole up the middle. Look out. Into the secondary 50. It's a foot race. Krosky, Merritt.
That's my fault. That's my fault.
Once it got turned out, they hit
Man, that's on me. I should have made that. I should not run up. Just set the edge.
This is a very tough.
That's why I want him back.
Back with plenty of time, going deep to the right side, wide open first down Lamb at the 45 of Washington.
That's why I want this dude back, man.
From 52, it's drifting. It's good.
Hey, one more stop. One more big ass stop, fella. Hey, we all about to get a sack on this last drive. They about to throw it.
Lord, I just want you right now to give us the energy and give us the stamina to finish the game and get the victory. I hope calls go our way.
2nd and 10.
I see you, Pickens.
Kick the field goal, which I think they're going to do.
Pickens
right
praying up here. I see you, Pickens.
He spiked the ball. Hey, they about to go behind out there. Yeah, they see that me. I'm cribbing. God, watch. I got that on tape. Watch. I'm kidding. I swear to God.
Here we go. 3rd and 2. Tolbert motion right. Handoff. Lipke up the middle.
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, this is to put the game away. 4th and 1 at the Washington 33. It's a quarterback keeper by Prescott. That is a tush push, and that's a first down.
Aiden, let's go! Aiden, let's go! Let's go! Let's go, Aiden! Aiden over there getting the crowd from. Aiden over there turning the crowd up over there. I said, let's go, Aiden. He's over, yeah! Take out the rest of the way, bro.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year.
Yeah. That's good stuff right there, man. Good stuff right there. I can see why the Cowboys, I can see why they still want to play, man. I can see why they still want to play. I know a lot of these players are disappointed that they didn't make the playoffs. I know a lot of them are disappointed. They just want to continue to play. I get it. We'll see what happens. I got a feeling that if Dak Prescott does play, I see Dak Prescott maybe the first half. There is no way they'll let Dak Prescott play. I don't think they'll let him play the whole game. I say they won't let him play the whole game, but it sounds like to me that Dak is saying that he just wants to keep playing, and he wants to take that momentum of even playing the whole season. He wants to take that into the offseason too. So I see what they're doing. We'll see how it goes. Runbowski, man, I can't help but agree with you. It only took the 16th game of the season for Turpin to run a go route when an offsides flag gets thrown. This is how they should have been using Cavante Turpin the entire season. Should have been using him like this the entire season. Don't even make sense in the grand scheme of things. Doesn't even make sense. Let's see here. Yeah, this is one of the reasons, Gravedigger, I like Clowney. He says accountability is what it's all about. I like Clowney. Clowney's a dog, is my dog, man. Yeah, he a dog, man. That's a real defensive leader, and it's what we need for next year. I agree. Truth Talk TV, Clowney is it. I agree, man. I agree. Let's see. Real estate vet, he said, let Milton do his thing. I think he'll get an opportunity, just won't be the whole game. Quentin Williams was making me crack up. Have you ever seen a defensive tackle get tackled by a ball runner? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, Robert Dudley said, Clowney, our new team captain on defense. I like it. Yeah, I hope they bring him back, and I think he will be a captain. I do. Yeah. This is one of the reasons why I want them to bring him back. I think he's a vital piece. They have got to bring him back. And especially if you let him get that whole, and he's already said it. He gonna be in training camp for somebody this year. He don't want to wait. He want to be in training camp. I like that. I like that mentality. Angel Eyes, accountability from 42. I love to see it and hear it. One clue about me. His hometown is where I reside. Okay, wait a minute. His hometown is. Thinking his hometown is Carolina. One of the Carolinas, I'm thinking. What's up, D Magda? Hey, Merry Christmas. Yeah, same to you. He said, I think we should let Blue play and other players. We don't need anyone getting hurt. Well, I'll tell you this. I agree with you on Jaden Blue. He needs to play. I don't care what they say. He needs to play. Darren Posey said the amount of Cowboy fans here in the DMV is crazy. We took over the stadium. Yeah. Ray Sean, what's going on? Bass, you are not lying, bro. You are not lying. A veteran that wants to do training camp, bro, that speaks volumes. Because a lot of veterans, Bass, they don't want to do training camp. That's straight facts, bro. All right, that's straight facts. All right, let's see where we want to go next. I didn't realize how late it was. I want to see if I can get one more segment in. Let me see where Brian Schottenheimer. Okay, it looks like they had a long conversation with him today. Let's see. All right, so let's skip around. Let's see if we can I'm trying to decide on Brian. Because Brian, like I say, man, you heard one, you heard them all.
Calvin, good afternoon.
Angel Eyes said, Football City, USA, baby. That's all I'm saying, LOL. Okay. Angel Eyes is giving us some trivia. Football City, USA. What is Football City, USA? I see you. Okay, that's what I figured. I knew it was one of them Carolinas. Football City, USA, baby. That's all I'm saying. I see you, Angel Eyes. All right. Let's see here. It's Brian Schottenheimer press conference. Let's see how much of this. I don't know if we're going to listen to the whole thing on Shotty tonight. Let's check him out because I still want to get to a couple other things. So let's listen to a few minutes of Shotty, see where we can get. If there's any highlights in here that y'all have already heard, y'all tell me. Hey, Marlon Dillard. Boy, you better say it. Man, you better say it, Marlon. Man, you better say it. Boy, if them boys don't go for Malik Willis, they off they rocker. They already passed up on Shador Sanders. Should have never done that. Man, they better go and get Malik Willis. Let me see Derek Posey, but man, what up? Appreciate that super chat. Posey said, gee, Clowney is not going to say they were tired like the other guy said. Yes, sir. Yeah, Clowney different, man. Clowney different. Man, I'm going to tell you, D Magna, if you're talking about Matt Eberflus, I'm just not sure yet. But I say this, if the Cowboys going to do it, rip the Band-Aid off. Rip the Band-Aid off. Don't even let him make the plane ride home, bro. And if you let him make the plane ride home, call him into the office and say, bro, pack your stuff up. 72. God prayers with Dak. Yes, sir. Prayers up, my brother. But if he gets hurt bad, don't want anybody crying. Don't want anybody crying about it because this is stupid. Over 58 years, I've seen some bad stuff over the 58 years. Yeah, I got a feeling they're not going to let Dak play. If they do, it won't be the full game. I'm sure it won't be the full game. Q-Town dude, boy, let me tell you, I agree with you. I'm just tired of saying maybe next year. Been doing it for the last 30 years. Hey, I'll tell you this. They were saying the same thing in 1990, 1991, and it happened in 1992. I'm putting my faith in 26 and 27 at the latest. Rubowski says Steelers fans have been saying that about every quarterback since 22 after Big Ben retired. Man, they better go get Malik. I'm telling you, man, they better go get Malik. All right, let's see what Shotty talking about. We'll listen to a few minutes. Let's see what's up.
Afternoon. Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News.
Anthony Jefferson.
Dak Prescott. Has any decisions been made about?
Okay, they opening up with that question. I'm going to say that, then we're going to listen to Brian. But, Anthony, this is what I think they're going to do, too, because the Cowboys actually seem to do the majority of the damage in the first half. So they'll probably let them get up like 21 points in the first half, sit Dak in the second half, and let Joe Milton see what he can do with the second half. It's probably exactly what they're going to do. Golden said, gee, what would you have thought if Deion Sanders came into, boy, I can tell you this much, I would have been excited. I think Jerry would have gave him a lot more control, too. Newhouse fam, you ain't lying. I doubt it, too. You doubt they'll make a run for Malik Willis? I do, too. You think they're getting ready for Will Howard? Man, I'm telling you, Malik Davis would be a steal, though, because you could get him on the cheap. Gravedigger said, I think Shotty needs to make it miserable for the boys if they lose. It worked for Jimmy, and it's what we needed. We need a leader that will accept nothing but results in winning. Yeah, I agree. And you got to figure out a way to do it. The problem is, Gravedigger, you got to figure out how to do it in this new soft NFL. Because you can only wear pads so much. So there's only so many things you can do in this new soft era of the NFL.
Him playing on Sunday?
Yeah, plan on finishing strong and having Dak play, and again get a chance to go 5-1. Hopefully in the
Dak's playing
8-1, and that's the plan as we're looking at now.
Will there be any opportunity for Joe Milton to play as well?
Again, we'll look at that. Again, the biggest thing for me is, put the game plan together and hopefully have another great week of practice and focus on getting our prep. You know how much respect I have for this team and this defense that we're getting ready to play. Elite front seven. But yeah, we'll see how the week goes. But
Milton will play the second half.
Right now, the plan is to play Dak.
Easy decision or hard decision? I mean, I know the game means something, but doesn't mean something, and obviously you want to see some young guys at times, but I don't know.
Well, I think they all mean something. I mean, that's where I would say I think they all do mean something. We're being evaluated on the whole season here, and we're proud of the fact we've played well against the NFC East opponents, and got a chance to play another one this weekend. But I feel good about it.
Man, hey, Papa Suge, bro, I heard Ryan Clark. Papa Suge said, I think Ryan Clark said it best, and excuse my language. If Dak don't go sit his butt down somewhere. Yeah, man, I see it both ways, Papa Suge. I see it both ways. But I do think the Cowboys need to be smart. It's the last game of the season. And if you see that your offensive line can't hold up, if you see that they're letting Dak run all over the place, I don't even think you wait till the second half. You get Dak out of that game immediately. I say even in the second quarter, man, you get Dak Prescott out of that game. You don't need nothing. I don't even need Dak with a hangnail coming out of this game. I don't want nothing. I don't want to risk anything. Get Dak out of this game. Get Dak out of this game, man. If you, they have got to be really smart. And I say at the very least, or I say at the most, Dak Prescott plays only the first half. After that, you let Joe Milton roll. And I'm also with you, D Magna, again. Man, put this dude Jaden Blue in here, man.
Dallas Cowboys, the momentum into the offseason, I don't know if the Bears or the Patriots had a lot of momentum at the end of the season and they turned around and had a great season. I mean, does it mean as much? I mean, it's a great taste in your mouth to end the season with that wins, but does it mean as much as in March and May and August to have those wins? I mean, because there's certainly evidence of teams who didn't end well who turn around and have a great season next year.
Yeah, I think each situation is different. Clarence, I think those are teams that are both obviously playing with great passion and playing well right now, and we hope that that's us next year. But I'm a guy that's all about process. I'm going to be the same guy every day, every week, and this week is no different. These guys put a lot of time and effort into preparing for 17 games. That's how many we signed up for, and we're going to compete to win all 17 of them, and hopefully we can get number 8 this weekend.
When do you evaluate the coaching staff going forward for next year? I know Jerry was on the radio, Steve was on the radio today talking about confusion as far as what do you play Logan or why he didn't play and stuff like that. And certainly Jerry was last Friday was he kind of heightened the rhetoric on the disappointment in how the defense is played. When do you start evaluating which coaches we're bringing back?
Well, let me first speak to the thing with Logan. The plan was to play Logan. We only had 21 snaps in the first half, and we kind of messed up the rotation in the second half. And it's not the first time it's happened. It's probably not the last time. It happens with receivers. It happens with defensive linemen. It certainly, shouldn't happen. But we take that as
y'all talking about, I see in the chat, you're talking about how the turf snatches ACLs. You want to know what's so crazy about this year, though? At least the 2 that I've seen that have been really bad, they were on grass. Michael Parsons, grass. Patrick Mahomes, grass. So it's been a strange year overall, seeing some of those type of injuries happen on grass. So, but yeah, I get y'all's point, though. I get y'all's point. I mean, if I were, if I'm the Cowboys, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm struggling. I might give Dak a quarter. I'm serious. I might literally give Dak the first quarter. And if we can't get it going in the first quarter, I am not going to spend another 3 quarters trying to get it going with Dak Prescott. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Dak, whatever damage you're going to do it in the first quarter. You will not get a second quarter and beyond. That's what I would do. I agree with you guys on that part. I'm kind of I understand Angel Eye's point. And I also understand Dak Prescott's point of wanting to play and he wants to win. But I also say you got to be careful, man. 2026, you're pushing all them chips in.
As a coaching staff. And then again, everything's going to be evaluated. Once we get through this last game, everything's going to be evaluated. Everything's going to be looked at. And there's going to be a lot of AARs done. Those after-action reports where you write down the things you did well, the things you need to improve, some of the critical mistakes that we made along the way, and then how do we improve those things. So everything's going to be looked at, and that's what I love about the process.
Sure said Dak would be lucky if I let him warm up.
How much when you get to these situations that you almost have to protect, because the player's always going to want to play that, protect them against themselves a little bit, like a guy like Javonte with the shoulder. And are there guys that you've already said in your mind, like, okay, this guy won't go?
No, I think if they're healthy, we plan on playing them. I mean, if you're going to play Dak Prescott, if the guys are healthy, they can go. We want to play them. But again, I know.
I think how much is the key.
The couple of days off definitely helped. Playing on Sunday, Todd, definitely helps. Gives us the extra day. But the training room is pretty full right now. And I think that speaks to how physical we played in the game against Washington, and that's something that we take a lot of pride in.
And then you talked about it. Back in Oxnard, you have 17 championship opportunities. How much does it suck that you don't have an 18th in front of you?
Oh, it sucks a lot. It sucks really bad. I mean, watching the games yesterday and then watching them put up the playoff, the options of the teams that have qualified for the playoffs, and you know me and what the ultimate goal is.
You'll be there next year,
and you have to qualify for the tournament. But all that being said, we put ourselves in this predicament. You know, we did not play consistent football enough along the way, and that's why we sit here with one more championship opportunity.
John Michaud with The Athletic. Do you have any update on Jake Ferguson?
No.
Boy, y'all are making some great comments, man. I gotta agree. Bass, so you play college ball, Bass? Play wide receiver? I see you, Bass. Yes, sir. I see you, Bass. Bass said he played wide receiver in high school and college, and it's something getting lit up in the cold. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. I bet especially if that turf wet, you definitely don't want to fall down when it's cold. Bass said especially if you're an offensive player and your defense can't get off the field fast enough, and you're just sitting on the sideline getting stiff and cold, well, you already know that's going to happen too. Yeah. Appreciate you, Bass, giving us some insight. Yeah, I see where you're at too, Hail Mary. Sit Dak, how dumb will it be if he get? Oh yeah, the organization will look dumb if he gets hurt. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, that's tough. And Newhouse fam, you know I'm already on this bus. Shoddy enough evaluating you had all season, bro. I agree. And I'm just being honest with y'all. There's nothing that the Cowboys can show me over the last game and now this game. Man, there's nothing the Cowboys can show me that changes my mind or opinion about anything I have on this team. They are what they are. They're going their butt home. That's what they are. They're going their butts home. That's what they are. Period. End of story. The defense is bad. The defense coordinator in the system is bad. The OC or the play caller, Brian Schottenheimer, gets out-coached by good defenses and good defensive coordinators. They adjust in the second half. He doesn't make the adjustments to the adjustment. And that's what he's got to work on. That's what he's got to work on coming into next year. The adjustment to the adjustment. Janie Scott says, why activate Blue and then sit him down? I'd like to see him get some game. I'd like to see him and Phil Moffitt, see what they could do. But if they don't, it is what it is, Janie. I still say Jaden Blue is going to be a part of the plan next year, and I don't think the Joneses are going to let Brian get around it. I think he's a part of the plan. Anthony Jefferson, I keep going to the Arizona game. I think the game is the Arizona game. I think the Arizona game was the game. I think the Arizona game was the game. I say the Carolina Panthers game. Those are the two games that cooked you for the season. Cooked you for the season. And I still say the Cowboys could have beat the Minnesota Vikings. Because when I think about the fact that they scored 26 points on the Vikings and the way the Vikings did the Detroit Lions, wow. Wow. Okay, hold on a second, Newhouse fam. What are you trying to tell me? You said he... Wait a minute. You said he played on college football 26. Boy, you talking about EA Sports up in this thing. Stop. Oh, man, you got me rolling up in here, boy. Gravedigger says, Shotty needs to be calling people out, not sugarcoating anything. We need results. The only way to get better is people getting called out and forced to either change or hit the road. Yeah, it don't seem like it's in his DNA. Larry said he'd sit Dak out too. Let him help Milton. Dak is way too valuable. And by the way, I'm tired of listening to Coach talk about the Yeah. Anthony Jefferson, Arizona ain't won another game since us. James Jeter, I do not understand this whole K9 business. They got to stop this. Posey said, I played football, then I woke up with a torn toenail. Oh, man. Bass said he played on that Bobby Boucher team. Yes, sir. I know what you're talking about. All right. Let's listen to just a few more minutes of Shotty. I mean, like I said, what up, Four Pockets? Man, Bass said EA Sports is in the game. Oh, yeah. Newhouse fam said he played at University of Texas on his NCAA 14. Yeah, y'all talk about the video games, boy. Only thing about Brian Schottenheimer is if you hear one Brian Schottenheimer press conference, it's like you've heard them all. He says the right things, if you ask me. He has a lot of the right answers. It just, it's not first year, but I still say Ben Johnson is kind of taking that away from him. All right, let's go a couple of more minutes.
Again, did well over the weekend. We'll see how he does on Wednesday. It's still early in the week, but like I said, we're pretty beat up, and we'll see how.
You don't need Ferguson playing. Ferguson ain't gonna make no difference. You don't need Ferguson playing.
The camaraderie and stuff in the training room today was really good. The guys had good juice, and everyone that's dinged up a little bit, they're all working their butts off to get back.
If he can't go or he's limited, whatever it is, how much are you looking forward to maybe more work from Brevin Spanford?
Yeah, I mean, Brev's a guy you guys have asked me about him.
Yeah, we don't need to see Ferg.
This guy's play style and the fact he's making plays, and he stepped up big time in the game against Washington with the big vertical and stuff like that. But the mentality, next man up, and really I don't think that way when I talk about the tight ends, because really all three of those guys, Brev, Scooney, and Jake, are all big parts of what we're trying to do offensively.
Is there anything that Jaden Blue can do this week to be active on Sunday?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see how the week goes. Again, I'd love to get eyes on Jaden. And again, I think the last couple weeks has been good weeks for him, and he's practicing harder and better. And again, I think if he continues on that path, there's definitely a chance.
Nick Harris, four-star Telegram, along with that same point. What's the health situation looking like for Javonte in the league days?
Yeah, both guys banged up pretty good. Javonte's shoulder's been problematic for the last couple weeks, and you guys saw Malik Shiner. But he's dealing with a couple other things as well. I mean, anytime you go out and you rush for 100 yards in this league in a physical game like he did, pretty sore. But again, I'll have more information the next time we talk. But the training.
Bass, NCAA football on EA Sports was tough, bro. It took them dudes a decade to really come back and make a great college game. Man, that lets you know how great that game was back then. They should have been ashamed of themselves. And I am glad that these college players are getting paid on some level, because it was an absolute travesty that the NCAA was able to use those kids' likenesses in a video game and they not get paid for it. Man, that's absolutely robbery.
The room was pretty full down there today.
Stephen was talking about on the radio this morning about Jadeveon Clowney and just how it's worked here, why it's worked here. In your eyes, and you've now been with him at a couple different spots. Why
my man Freddie
this year? And can you speak to
my man Freddie? He said, "Man, you haven't played football till you played football in a wheelchair, man. Talk about bringing the wood." Yes, sir. I feel you, Freddie. Represent, my brother. Except the children failed. He said to Diggs, I asked earlier in the show if Diggs' other 7 children got Christmas presents. Did you check it out for us? I'm sure they did. I'm sure between Trayvon Diggs being their dad and Stephon Diggs being their uncle, boy, all of them better got some presents. You think I'm playing? Them kids better got hooked up, man.
Again, like when I talk about JD, it's the impact on the field is great. You guys see the way he plays. I mean, there's a reason the guy was the first overall draft pick 30 years ago or whatever it was, maybe 25 years ago. But what I love is the impact he's having with the younger players, the impact he's having in the locker room, the intensity about the way the game should be played. I think all those things are just critical for our young players to listen and hear. And whether it's Tyler Booker on offense, hearing
you got to bring Jadeveon Clowney back, man.
Nezaraku talk about it.
Got to bring Clowney back.
It's priceless, and you can't watch him.
Hey man, let me tell you something. Newhouse fam, boy, that Tecmo Bowl with Bo Jackson. What? Man, that Tecmo Bowl with Bo Jackson was a cheat code without a cheat code, man. Boy, you could stop Bo Jackson on Tecmo Bowl.
And play the game and be like, oh yeah, these are meaningless games of this guy. And they're not meaningless at all to this guy. This guy wants to win at anything that he does, and that play style and that temperament, quite honestly, is something that I'd love to have back next year.
Tommy, our Dallas Cowboys.com, you brought it up a couple times in the last few weeks. these younger guys needing to earn their chances to play in these last couple games. What does that look like for you? What do you look for in practice or in meetings that makes you say, okay, yeah, this guy's earned his chance?
Yeah, it starts in meetings, Tommy. It really does. It starts in meetings with the way they take notes, the questions that they ask, walkthroughs. Are they paying attention if they're not getting all the reps? At practice, what are they doing in individual? Are they what are their times? Their catapult, everything's timed. We monitor their speeds and stuff. What speeds are they hitting? And then there's the consistency of that. To do that one day and to hit your speeds of 20 miles an hour, whatever it is, and then to come back the next day and be 15 or 16. I'm not talking about any player specifically. I'm talking about in general. That's problematic, and that's not meeting the standard. And if you do it on a consistent basis and you show us you're prepared, you show us you're practicing the right way, and that we have great faith in the fact that you give us the best chance to win, then by all means we're going to play you. And if you don't, then there's a chance you're probably not going to play.
You guys have had Cooper Rush the last couple of years back in DACA. Now you kind of knew what you had with him, and now you have Joe. What have you learned from Joe over the course of the year in terms of what he can do based on what you saw in preseason and now in the reps that he gets in practice?
Yeah, everybody gets mesmerized by Joe's arm, and I get it. I mean, I'm mesmerized. I've seen a lot of guys throw footballs over my time.
But see, this is actually the problem with Joe Milton. This is really the problem with Joe Milton. Mike Vrabel didn't fall for it. But this is the issue with Joe Milton. And a lot of the league didn't fall for it. Joe Milton can throw the ball 90 yards. He can turn backflips. Whoop-de-do. But what is Joe Milton outside of being able to throw a football deep? That's great. But the majority of the time in the game, you're not throwing deep passes. You're just not. You're typically throwing short to intermediate passes. Because what teams do if you are a deep ball thrower only, well, they just play you with that cover two. They cover you. They take away everything deep. Then what are you underneath? What are you underneath in the intermediate routes? What are you in the check down routes? What do you look like then? And so this really becomes the issue for Joe Milton, and I think it was the issue for Joe Milton in college, and I think it's the issue for Joe Milton in the pros. Joe Milton is a quarterback that has the prototypical size, can throw the ball a mile, and can throw in some backflips for entertainment, but as it applies to quarterback, he doesn't have a touch on the ball, can't throw the ball in the places that it needs to go. He can't do any of those things because if he could have, the Cowboys wouldn't have had him because the Patriots were trying to trade him for a third rounder and nobody would bite. Nobody would bite on him for a third rounder. How much you bet if Drake May was to hit free agency, next season, how much you bet teams would be lined up to give away a third round pick for Drake May? They would be lined up, man. I'm sorry. I don't know who these people that were saying that this dude was challenging Drake May and better than Drake May and didn't feel like he could learn anything from Drake May. What? Have you looked at Drake May this year? Man, I'm telling you, that's why I said, man, people were insulting this dude, Vrabel. Don't think for a second that Vrabel didn't go back and look at the tape. And I'm not talking about game tape. This dude went back and looked at tape. Practice tape, looked at this dude, and I'm sure they sat down and talked about Milton. Nah, Milton ain't Drake May, man. Milton ain't Drake May. If Milton was Drake May, I'm telling you, they're beating Cowboys. They're going to beat they would be beating the Cowboys door down this coming offseason, trying to give the Cowboys a second-round draft pick for Joe Milton. And this kind of talk about Joe Milton that Brian Schottenheimer does. This is really Joe Milton's problem. People hype this dude up because he could throw the ball. Oh, don't let me forget, Newhouse fam. You're right. Don't let me forget. Joe Milton can throw the ball 100 miles. He can throw it 100 yards, and he throws it 100 miles an hour. He throws the ball 100 miles an hour. Every ball's a fastball for him. And this is the problem with him. This is the problem. And then Brian Schottenheimer, he's bragging about, he ain't seen a person throw a football like that and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, come on, man. Hey, and exactly. Robert Dudley, again, Vrabel is wise and a smart dude. Man, I'm going to tell you, I didn't believe it. When people were saying, oh, they got rid of him because of all these other reasons. Nah, Vrabel saw the tape and saw what this dude was. Vrabel saw the tape. Papa Suge said, he said in Goofballs, we're cheering for Milton to take Dak's spot. Papa Suge, I don't know if you remember. Boy, I remember people saying stuff like, yeah, man, Dak Prescott better not go down. Because if Dak Prescott go down and Joe Milton come in, he ain't never getting that spot back. Man, stop it. Stop it. Just pure lunacy.
I'm in the NFL. How much he loves playing the game. He's a lot like GP in the way that they both love playing the game. No one has more fun at practice than Joe. I think Joe's been a great asset for Dak in regards to that because Dak's such a perfectionist and terrible dancer. Dak's terrible dancer, and Joe's a really good dancer. And so Dak tries to compete every day with Joe, and it's not even close.
Posey said 100 yards, 100 miles per hour was equal 100-yard pick six. Man, boy, you ain't lying, boy.
But the athleticism's real. Great athlete. I think the biggest thing for him has been learning kind of our protection schemes and things.
But see, this is the stuff that makes me mad about people. How many of these prototypical quarterbacks have we seen come into this league and they don't pan out? How many of them? We've seen so many, and I don't understand. How are they the prototype? How is the 6'5", 240-pound quarterback with a cannon the prototype? How is he the prototypical quarterback when that's not the quarterback that's having the success? Make it make sense. How are they the prototype? They're not the ones winning the championships. Anybody seen Tom Brady's draft pictures when Tom Brady was in those gray shorts? Gray shorts, no shirt on? I'm sorry. Tom Brady was not the prototypical quarterback. Tom Brady was not the prototypical quarterback. Peyton Manning. Drew Brees. These guys are not the prototypes, but they're winning the Super Bowls. I don't understand. This is the stuff that when you got to talk about all this stuff, when you're talking about a quarterback, you're not talking about the right stuff. You're not talking about the right stuff. And this is why with Joe Milton, they gotta continue to work on this because, they're saying all the things that's showing you the stuff that they're talking about is letting you know, no, Joe Milton really isn't he isn't what people thought he was and was saying that he was.
Things like that, which, Dak and Will Grier are certainly way farther advanced than Joe is. But I just see huge upside with the guy. I really do. I love the way he prepares. I love the way he competes. But the first thing when you asked me about him was just how much he loves playing the game.
Scott.
This dude is so disingenuous. Did he just sneak in that there's not a big difference between Dak and Milton? Hold on a second.
So Dak tries to compete every day with Joe, and it's not even close. But, the athleticism's real. Great athlete.
Have y'all noticed something about the majority of the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks? Have y'all noticed that athleticism is not something you hardly talk about? Even when you talk about Patrick Mahomes, we don't even talk about Patrick Mahomes in the vein of athleticism. I don't really call Patrick Mahomes an athletic quarterback. I call him, as I talked about last year, y'all remember when I talked about the running quarterbacks in this league? I think Lamar Jackson is the best running quarterback. I think Josh Allen is the most powerful running quarterback. But where Patrick Mahomes separates himself, he's the smartest running quarterback. He's the smartest running quarterback. He doesn't really depend on a lot of athleticism, per se. He really depends a lot on his brain. When he sees that all the defensive backs have their backs turned, what does he do? And they're running down the field with their backs turned to him, he runs. When they're looking at him, he hardly does it. He knows how to get down. He knows how to get out of bounds most of the time. But when you're talking about quarterbacks, when I start hearing, like Brian, yeah, the athleticism is real. Man, I don't give a doggone. I'll be honest with you. I don't give a doggone about athleticism when I'm talking about a quarterback. Is it a plus? Yeah, it's a plus. But it's not the major thing that I'm concerned about. I don't care nothing about that, man. Because the history has shown, even in the modern day era, those are not the quarterbacks that are typically winning. Those are not the quarterbacks. And the reason why those are not the quarterbacks that typically win, because when everything falls apart, what do? They fall back on their athleticism. And then when they fall back on their athleticism, man, these defenses in the NFL today, they have a way of putting you in situations. Yeah, you might be able to run, but they put you in situations to where your running is not going to run you to the end zone. This dude, what he just said is so disingenuous. Continue to listen to this.
I think, the biggest thing for him has been learning kind of our protection schemes and things like that, which, Dak and Will Grier are certainly way farther advanced than Joe is. But I just see huge upside with the guy. I really do. I love the way he prepares. I love the way he competes. But the first thing when you asked me about him was just how much.
What's the upside? I mean, that becomes really the question. What's the upside? Because for the most part, everything you've seen is what he is. You've seen what he is. I'm tired of people thinking they're the smartest people in the room. All these teams passed by Joe Milton. They saw him in the draft. They passed by him all those rounds. And then he goes in the extreme late round of the draft. So you're telling me everybody was that dumb on Joe Milton? Man, we just got to stop this. We got to stop this kind of stuff. We got to stop this kind of stuff. And I truly believe this is where I am with the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott probably should have been top of the second or bottom of the first. Dak Prescott fell because of a DUI or something of that effect. The next Cowboys quarterback, they need to really go in the draft and get them a top flight quarterback. That's where I am. I say their next quarterback, go in the draft and get him. Don't try to get some quarterback that, he was a late rounder, but he's good and this and, man, no. I don't even think Joe Milton could maybe be a bridge, but the Cowboys at the Dak Prescott, man, go out there and get you a quarterback. Go in the draft and get you a quarterback. Go in the first round and get you a quarterback. Stop this stuff. You got lucky with Tony Romo. You got lucky with Tony Romo, and you definitely got lucky with Dak Prescott. Had it not been for that DWI, Dak probably doesn't even be on the Cowboys team. Don't understand it. All right. It's about 9:35, guys. I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. We are going to be back at it tomorrow. We got to build up, man. We got to build up for this last Cowboys football game. I am so excited to see what the Cowboys do this next game. I'm actually looking forward to looking at some of the backups play. I'll be honest with you. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to some of the backups playing, guys. Y'all tell me what you think. I am looking forward to some of the backups playing. As much as I understand why Dak Prescott wants to play, somebody's got to protect Dak Prescott from himself too, I think. I say you let Dak Prescott play a quarter and then you're done with it, because I'm telling y'all right now, this doggone New York Giants defensive line is a monster. And the last thing you want Dak Prescott out there doing is getting knocked all over the field by this defensive line, because it's way better than the Washington Commanders. It's way better. I'm telling us, it's way better. We got to be careful. Rich Lloyd, he said Milton looks good on film. Yeah, we'll agree to disagree, G. Makes good reads, throw wells on the run, has speed with his legs. He had a tremendous upside. Issue is, I got to see it. I got to see it, Rich Lloyd. But I still say this, Rich Lloyd. I just don't think all these other teams were dumb. I don't think the teams he played for in college was dumb. He wasn't able to start basically until his last season. 6 years in college. He came to the pros multiple rounds before anybody takes him. Everybody saw his tape. Everybody saw him. I saw him play at Tennessee. I saw him sometimes on Saturday, and I was like, wow, this guy, he looks pretty good. But if he was that good, I'm telling you, the New England Patriots do not let him out the building. They don't let him out of the building. But, hey, at this point in time, I'll be honest with you. I don't care how good he is. I just need to see Dak Prescott finish these next 3 years strong and bring a Super Bowl to the Dallas Cowboys. And then all that other stuff after that, we can talk about it. I don't want to see Joe Milton until Dak Prescott is gone. That's kind of where I am. You tell me what you think, Rich, but I don't want to see him until Dak Prescott is done. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. We're going to be back tomorrow. Got some videos coming. Y'all go make sure, if you haven't already, go over to G Sports Nation. Let me put the link in the description. Y'all make sure y'all go over and subscribe to that channel. I plan on dropping videos starting no later than what is today? Monday. No later than Wednesday. No later than Wednesday. We will be dropping NFL. We are going to be talking about the entire NFL over there on the G Sports Nation. We're going to keep this Dallas Cowboys thing the main thing and really keep this Dallas Cowboys focused and centric. We will talk a little bit about the playoffs as they go on, but we'll talk more about those things over on the G Sports Nation, and that's where you're going to go to talk all things NFL, and you never know, we may even sprinkle a little NBA action in there. So, again, G Sports Nation, y'all make sure y'all go subscribe. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys where we talk facts. Peace.
Yo, G, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him.